but he's been magnificent, obviously, for Kucherov. And then Vasilevsky, injuries, wasn't quite himself early on, finally got healthy, got back playing, and he looked like the Vasilevsky of old. And then Victor Hedman, I mean, you know, he looked a little worn down last year for Heddy, but he rebounded really nicely this year. He looked every bit the player he's ever been. So then when you build out from there, you add in a very strong trade deadline with some of the additions they made. Duclair's been terrific for them. And just the mentality of this group, they are a little bit the antithesis of the Leafs. This is a very professional group that has proven time and time again they know what it takes to win. This is exactly where the Leafs want to end up. I actually think they'll get there. But the Lightning have already done it, and I feel like they were able to call upon that experience when things looked really, really dark for them this year at times. And you have to compliment them. It's been a tremendous year for them.
Yeah, and I think you have to highlight the work of the head coach. Jon Cooper is truly one of one in this league in that, longest serving guy and a guy that's, survived not multiple iterations, but like the up and then a bit of a gradual come down here. And it just seems like, the message gets stale everywhere else but Tampa Bay. Is this one of Jon Cooper's best coaching jobs ever? Getting through the Vasilevsky thing and kind of redefining what this group is and getting into the wild card and getting, Duclair and Dumba acclimatized. Like, should we be looking more? And again, maybe Rick Tocchet wins Coach of the Year, whatever. Should we just be giving more respect to Jon Cooper based on what he's done this season?
100%. Jon won't get the accolades that maybe he's gotten in past years, but the difference is that he's had some really dynamic teams in the past. A lot of those guys have moved on because of salary cap reasons or what have you. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, this was perhaps Jon's best season ever as a head coach. And I think if you corner Jon over a beer with that question, he'd tell you so. He really did a nice job. He is a prototypical new age coach that understands you can no longer berate the players. You can no longer demand that they do it. You have to give them reasons to follow. You have to show them there's a level of accountability in the locker room. You have to convince them, players today, that you can make them better. You can enhance their careers. And Jon checks all those boxes. He knows how to hit those buttons. And quite frankly, Tampa's really lucky to have him. It just feels like he just became a coach yesterday, and here he is, as you pointed out, as the longest-standing head coach in the NHL now.
I didn't even touch on the biggest bout of adversity, or at least one of the stronger ones, which is, the captain coming into the season a little grouchy because he didn't have a contract signed and managing all of that. And Steven Stamkos, he hasn't been Kucherov like this year, but Stamkos is coming on, and Steven Stamkos remains Steven Stamkos, very, very important part of this define his future. Like, what's going to happen this offseason with Stamkos, with the Lightning, and based on how he's performed and how he projects to still perform?
You got to give Stammer a lot of credit. I did not think he would hit the 40-goal level this year. I did not think he would average over a point a game. He took it personal like he should in terms of, I'm going to show you and play to a higher level, which is not surprising because Stammer's just a winner. Mm-hmm. He has that pedigree. I've known that since the day he arrived in Tampa. Doesn't get frazzled. He goes about his job. He's improved himself every year as a player, particularly in those early years, and he's a very valuable guy. In terms of, and this will sound odd, but in terms of Tampa not re-signing him, I'm more understanding of that than probably most people. In the past, most teams have rewarded those guys for what they've done in the past, but it has not worked out in the future. It's an aggressive stance by the Lightning, but it's not a stupid stance. I think Stammer responded outstanding to this challenge, and I'm sure he feels great about his season, as he should, but as far as a management decision from Tampa, I have a lot of respect for them because it's very, very hard to do. If you go back and look at Stanley Cup champions that rewarded guys, you can look at LA, some of the contracts they handed out and stuff, they just did not age well. Could this be that? Could Stammer still sign and stay? I think it's all on the table, and it's all dependent on how the playoffs play out. I wouldn't be surprised if he left and went and played somewhere else because he's clearly shown that he's still got a lot left in the tank. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had a very good run and he stayed and re-signed in Tampa. But I wouldn't begrudge Tampa for that. It's a smart decision. It's just not a popular one.
Maybe he'd want to come back to Toronto and be a hometown guy. The pajama pick from John Tavares could be duplicated with Steven Stamkos. I think that'd be an interesting one. We're talking to Brian Lawton ahead of Leafs and Lightning. One last one for you. Might have at least, definitely one or two Hart Trophy finalists potentially on the ice tonight, Kucherov and Austin Matthews. I wonder for you what the dialogue is around Kucherov's chances of winning a Hart Trophy is, because we've got our thoughts up here with 70 goals meaning something and 100 assists meaning something else. How likely do you think Kucherov could be in that discussion and maybe to bringing home the hardware come this summer?
I think he's definitely in the discussion. 70 goals is really remarkable. I'm sorry, but there's always been and there always will be a premium for scoring goals. It's not like Austin is 50th in scoring in the league. He's still 6th as we have this conversation right now. Honestly, it could go any way, any one of four ways for me. Every one of these guys has been outstanding. Connor McDavid is, if you really cornered me and said, who do I think is the most impactful player, I would probably say Connor. Kucherov has had a year, though, where he's worthy. Whether or not Austin gets number 70 tonight or not, he's had a year that's worthy of an MVP-type season. And Nathan McKinnon has been terrific. The Avs have been a little bit more shorthanded than people realize at times this year. And Nathan has really had to carry the bulk of the mail. But at the end of the day, this is four great players. I could very easily see a world where Austin Matthews is the MVP, particularly if he hits 70 tonight.
Well, it should be an exciting one regardless tonight. A couple of milestones at hand and finally wrapping up what's been a fun and kind of chaotic regular season. So best of luck through the playoff push. We appreciate your time tonight and enjoy tonight's game, Brian.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks very much. Brian Lawton, NHL Network analyst, and gave a little love to Austin Matthews' Hart. If he gets 70 tonight, it could be, I've been watching the lines go up and down and who the favorite is, but it's been a Nathan McKinnon world this whole time, but there could be some big milestones hit tonight.
Yeah, that was one of the stronger endorsements for Matthews that I've heard from people that would be considered, I guess, non-Toronto, right? There's a lot of Torontonians that have been banging the drum for 70 goals in Austin Matthews. But I guess the word is that most people down south are looking elsewhere, and I think that is fair, given that, 70 is a great number, and it's a kind of an unmistakable number. But maybe they're more in tune with the crazy natures of the McKinnon and Kucherov seasons as well. So it's a debate that is going to continue to rage on. But 70 goals in a lot of ways is undeniable, and a good chance for him to reach 70 goals with a shorthanded Lightning lineup tonight, only going with 17 skaters, 11 forwards, 6 defensemen. Yep. Their second line just has Stamkos and Hagel on it tonight. So, they'll be mixing and matching. Hedman not playing, Vasilevsky not playing, or at least not starting in the game. So, shorthanded Lightning team, and the Maple Leafs are resting some individuals, but none of their forwards.
You buried the lead.
What was that?
Matt Tompkins starting in net for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that helps significantly in terms of scoring goals, that it is not Andre Vasilevsky.
I mean, Canadian Olympic legend, let's be
honest.
I'm
not saying that he's not a good hockey player. I'm saying he's no Andre Vasilevsky.
That is true.
And he does have a 319 goals against average and an 891 save percentage. But on the other end, you'll have Martin Jones. So this is a bit of a load management for both teams. Maple Leafs will be without Riley, McCabe, Edmondson. Martin Jones will be starting. There's only 12 forwards, as Keefe has said out loud many times.
Oh, he loves that.
When he was asked about the health and if Matthews is playing, he was like, boy, you only have 12 healthy forwards. So
yeah, because if there was a 13th healthy forward, then you'd have to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the safeguard against like going back against, considering at least load management at one point.
It all works out in the end. And the fact that Matthews can wrap this season up with a crazy, crazy milestone that we might not see again. I'm glad the decision was as easy as it seems to have been made, where you're just playing tonight and get it early.
So, wouldn't Tavares earn the rest before Matthews?
I would hope so.
Someone else on the roster? I mean, Matthews is a young, strapping lad who's, I think, okay with playing another 18 minutes.
I think he can play 18 minutes. So.
Yeah, we'll see about intensity, though. I don't know how this game is going to look like. All these late season games are a little bit wacky. But again, the Lightning, they're locked in. They got nothing to play for. 17 skaters. This is not a game. It's a bit of a fake game. So we'll see if Matthews in a fake game or a fake-ish game.
And your truck with 2 men. And your truck with 2 men. And your truck with 2 men. And your truck. Take 2 men in a truck. 2 men in a truck. .ca. So when you gotta move. All moving day. Think 2 men in a truck. 2 men in a truck. .ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name. 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, sorry, cash only. Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, we don't accept foot money here. That's
Thanks,
how he
Harold.
talks. But now
weather
I'm starving,
reports
and I'm
don't
looking
matter
for
when
something
you
to
drive
eat.
a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
When live music legends,
this is Trey Anastasia from Fish,
launch their brand new residency at the Las Vegas Sphere.
I am indeed giddy. Thank you guys all for being here.
Catch the vibe live on the band's exclusive SiriusXM channel. Complete concerts, fan reaction, and more. Sphere Week on Fish Radio, starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, channel 29 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on SiriusXM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this, they got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Us.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's Game 82. It is the Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning wrapping up the regular season before both teams have their playoff matchups set. The Leafs are playing the Bruins. Wow, that one snuck up on us. And the Lightning are playing the Panthers in the Battle of Florida. It's going to be a fun one. And tonight, there's a couple things on the line, but mostly being healthy and ready for Saturday night, which is probably when the series will begin.
And with health and readiness in mind, we will not see a number one defenseman on either side tonight, with Morgan Rielly scratched for, not precautionary reasons. That would mean that, something else is going on. I think he's just getting some rest tonight, and Victor Hedman will do the same, although I think he is dealing with an illness. So, yeah, these coaches don't have that much wiggle room because of, salary caps and rosters and the restraints on teams just in general. But a couple guys getting some rest, including Maple Leaf goaltenders tonight.
Let's hear from Sheldon Keefe a little earlier today on the decision to play Austin Matthews.
We got 12 forwards, so there wasn't much of a conversation, quite honestly. It was a brief discussion just about the idea of 11 and 7, but the reality is, for me, like the 70-goal thing aside, Austin's playing good and feeling good, and if I had more guys to sit or rest, probably wouldn't even be top of the list for me, quite honestly. So in terms of Austin, there was not really much of a discussion there, and I like that we can get some of our defensemen some rest. Those guys have been banged up and they're important and have taken a lot on for us this season.
However you spin it, Sheldon Keefe, Austin Matthews is in the lineup, and he has a shot at something spectacular. So for our last time in a pre-game format, our player to watch, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. I wonder who we should pick tonight.
Yeah, we've been circling this same name for a little while
Tonight's
now.
the night, Justin.
Austin Matthews to score his 70th goal, minus 145 tonight. But that's, as you mentioned, not the only bit of history or the only round number being chased tonight. Nikita Kucherov is one assist away from 100. He joined Connor McDavid at that plateau. So another player to watch, a bonus player to watch. Nikita Kucherov, anytime assist, minus 220.
Yes, both looking for history. And for fun, I threw in William Nylander, looking to get 100 points for the first time in his career. If he gets 3 points tonight, plus 500, let's say it's a points night, let's say it's a sloppy night, it is Matt Tompkins in net, it is a shorthanded and, less enthused Tampa Bay Lightning's team. Nylander to get 3 points to get to 100 is plus 500. Those are kind of your fun little milestone watch tonight. But yeah, Matthews needs to put the 70th goal in the net so we can all shut up about it.
Yeah, I don't think we should really power rank the relief because I do think Austin Matthews would be most relieved. But William Nylander's been stuck short of 100 points. It was a shoo-in. It was a lock for him to get 100 points a couple weeks ago, and it just hasn't been working for him of late. I'm just curious to see how this game plays out. I mean, last night was a weird one for the Toronto Maple Leafs, losing to Florida. Florida gets the division in part because of that performance. It just seemed like, they had it going in the first, and then they allowed a league-high 29 shots against the entire season. Thousands of NHL games. That was the most that a team has had in a period. It just went south real fast, and the intensity just dropped, right? And that's the thing about these late season games. It's how much motivation do you have, and what does it look like when one team is motivated and the other is not? I don't know how it's going to look tonight, but there are a couple things to be motivated for. So we'll see how the big round numbers affect this game and how the scratches.
The lineup for your Maple Leafs: Bertuzzi, Matthews, and Marner; Nyes, Tavares, and Nylander; Robertson, Holmberg, and Gregor; Dewar, Kampf, and Reeves. And on the back end, Brody, Labushkin, Benoit, Liljegren, Giordano, Timmins, and Annette, Martin, Jones, followed by Joseph Wall. So Samsonov going to be well rested, most likely, for Saturday night game 1.
So a couple names you omitted there, obviously, not playing tonight. Max Domi, Bobby McMahon, Calle Yarncroke, all are progressing, according to Sheldon Keefe today, and still possible for game 1. So even despite, it's game 82 and you kind of throw a lot out the window, you're not going to get like a semblance of what it might look like because we don't know how many of those 3, if any, are going to be available for Sheldon Keefe. So yeah, Domi, McMahon, Yarncroke progressing. That's good news that they're possible for game 1, but you kind of like some semblance heading in from 82 to 1, and they will not have that tonight based on these scratches.
And from our favorite, Luke Fox, just tweeting out, William Nylander is the only Toronto Maple Leaf to play in all 82 games this season. He's only missed 1 game in the past 3 seasons. So that is durability.
He's durable, that Nylander.
And let's see how everybody finishes off this regular season of 82 games. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the first period after the break. You're listening to Milestone Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with 2 seconds left. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning, it's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something?
For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio, Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with the chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team, don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get overlooked.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with the chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team, don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM and the Leafs Radio Network.
Game 82 of the regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs, with a trip to Boston heading up this weekend on the horizon. And the inmates of the Iron Igloos tonight, it will be for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Matt Tompkins, who is playing in his 6th NHL game. He's 2-2-1 with a 3.19 goals against average and an .891 save percentage. Martin Jones gets the call for the Maple Leafs, 11-7-1, 2.70 and a .908 save percentage. He's 3-4-0 lifetime against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, of course, two big things to be decided tonight. One, can Austin Matthews hit the 70-goal plateau? And can, on the other side of the coin, Nikita Kucherov hit the 100-point assist mark this year?
It was funny. John Cooper, the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, had a couple of interesting quotes. He said, maybe we should just pull our goalies the first 5 minutes and get it over with.
Yes.
For both sides. And move on. John Cooper also said about Matthews' possibility of getting 70. If it happens, I'll take solace in the fact that 69 times before that, no one else could stop him either.
Starting Goalies brought to you by Superior Door and Gate Systems, Canada's top choice for automatic doors and security gates, security fencing, and bollards, because security can only be measured by what it will save you. We're underway. The Leafs to the right. Long shoot in, knocked away by Jones. Another shot. Jones stopped that on the short side and is banked out at center ice. And now here's Marner. Up ahead for Matthews on the left wing. Matthews swinging it to the net, and that was stopped by Tompkins. Cut off there by Matthews and fed to the far side. Pass in now looking for Marner. Is intercepted, and it's played out into the center ice area now by the Lightning and down into the Leaf end. Lyubushkin for TJ Brody. On to Willie Nylander, who is the only player to play in all 82 games for the Maple Leafs this year. In fact, he's only missed one game in his last 3 seasons. But he is looking to get off the schneid a little bit.
Yeah, it has been a tough stretch for Willie Nylander, sitting on 97 points. And actually, the goal last night was changed. I didn't see it until this morning that John Tavares tipped the Mitch Marner drive, but that took the assist away from Willie Nylander, so he's back to 97 points, but just 4 points in his last 12 games.
Shot into the Tampa Bay zone, pushed up on the wing, and the Lightning will try to move it out with Braden Point getting it ahead, trying to break in here now with a chance is Radish, and it went wide of the net. Grabbed off by Tavares, but he couldn't play it up the boards. You would not believe that this would turn into a physical event by any stretch of the imagination. Nyes in along the boards, couldn't get it out past the defenseman. It comes back to the point for Lilleberg. He'll try to play it into the slot area. Nyes banking it out at center, and Tavares is down the left wing. He has a man with him. It's Nylander, and a shot is whistled wide of the Tampa Bay goal. Kucherov played it out at center ice, and the Leafs will regroup with Giordano. Getting it back and turning with it is Pontus Holmberg as the rest of the Leafs are completing their change. Pass ahead for Gregor. Noah Gregor skips in on the left wing. Pulls up in the corner. Played it back to the point. Long shot is kicked away by Tompkins. And it'll be played out at center ice, too far for everyone. And
wow.
Officials must have a plane to catch because that icing was waved off. Hey, I'm all for it, guys. Go ahead. We don't need to be here late into the night either.
You might want to give Giordano a little bit of a heads up.
Yeah, let the players know that we're going to officiate this way. We're moving right on. Here's Giordano with the puck now. Gets it ahead at center. Holmberg on the left wing for Robertson, who will shoot it in, and it ends up going off a stick and up into the screen.
You know, for a while,
out of play.
This game actually looked like it could have had some importance to it when the Lightning and the Leafs were kind of bouncing back and forth between the first wild card position and third in the Atlantic. And the reason Tampa was in trouble at one point of being out of the playoff picture altogether, but thanks to a 14-4-2 streak, that vaulted them ahead, and that's, when nobody else was winning in the East, trying to get in.
The Lightning are playing with one less player. They've dressed 17 skaters. As it is into the corner now and grabbed off by Radish. He'll play it around back of the net. Lightning wearing their third jerseys, the black ones. And the puck in the corner with Camp, getting it freed up for Reeves. Got it back to the point. Liljegren with a shot. That deflected wide of the net. Back of the goal now is Dewar, trying to find Camp. That didn't work out. Chopped off the boards, but pinching was Liljegren to keep it in. Camp in the corner, centers. Dewar didn't shoot it. Now gets it out into the goal crease area. And a couple of whacks and hacks at it, but unable to get it in towards the net.
They called off another icing right away as TJ Brody going back for it. What you liked about the Liljegren pinch, Joe? Ryan Reeves backed him up right away.
Lots of things to work on, specifically how that second period went down last night in Florida. Here's Matthews on the ice, wearing the assistant captain A on this event. His mom and dad are in attendance. Played down into the Toronto zone. Jones leaving it there for Brody. Played around the boards to the left wing side. Off Matthews' stick to center. Chernak is there to recover for Tampa. He'll get the puck back, and it's played up on the right wing side for Chafee and across the line. A drop pass now for Duclair. His shot was blocked, and then a giveaway by the Leafs. Bertuzzi on the near side. Another shot in front. They score. A tip in front of the net. Nick Paul will get the goal to get Tampa on the board, 1-0.
And it all starts Tyler Bertuzzi inside the Leafs zone, inside the blue line, middle of the ice. Tries a cute little backhand pass, but it doesn't get to Matthews. It's picked off. And seconds later, and I mean, nobody takes Nick Paul, who's to the right of Martin Jones, and once it gets past TJ Brody, the top of the crease, Paul just has to tap it into the empty side, so the Tampa Bay Lightning have struck first.
Paul is got 24 on the year, but he's minus 16. The Lightning have really made hay on the power play this year, and their 5-on-5 play has not been very good. And when you consider people like Matt Dumba, minus 19, Point, minus 14, Stamkos, minus 22. As the puck comes into the Leaf goal crease area, pushed back towards the blue line, and getting to it is Nylander, and he'll skate it out with Tavares. Tavares takes his pass on the left wing, chipped it in deep into the Tampa Bay zone. Nylander against the boards, trying to get it away there as Nyes was unable to reach it, and it's back into the Leaf end of the rink. Simon Benoit fakes a pass, skates through neutral ice, got to center ice just, and it's cleared down in over the line and back of the net. Hustling in after it was Holmberg. He couldn't come up with it. Puck is in along the boards, launched to the blue line and brought out at center ice by Tanner Jano, but a whistle here.
Might have been a glove pass.
Looks like it is. Yes, it did. It went just off the glove of Austin Watson, and Jano touching it, and face-off back into the Tampa Bay Lightning zone. Tampa Bay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you're talking about the things they have to improve on. There you go again. Blatant turnover in your own zone, and then poor defensive coverage in front of your own net. There's basically a 2-on-1 down low.
Face-off won by the Maple Leafs. Back to the blue line goes Brody with it. Brody can't send it to the net, so he pumps it around back of the goal. Gregor couldn't come up with it. Still back of the net. They bang away at it. Chipped along the boards. Gregor gets it to Brody. Brody into the slot and a drive by Robertson, and that was just off the mark wide. 14 goals on 91 shots for Nick Robertson. He's got one of the better shooting percentages in the league, 15.6%. Is he in game one lineup? Robertson dropping it back. Brody with it. They wait for their change up front. Benoit skates to center and backhands it down. Matthews on the ice. And along the boards to the far side. It trickles back to the blue line. And unable to get there in time was Brody, who was coming late off the bench. Back of the goal now for Calvin DeHaan. Up on the wing and a long rink-wide pass. Looking for Kucherov in front. He's in on goal. Scores! It's not the 100 assists, but it is goal number 44 for Nikita Kucherov. And a 2-0 Tampa Bay lead.
comes off the rush as Simon Benoit was late to peel out on the left wing side, and basically it's Kucherov, his man, that races up ice. And Benoit's, probably 15 feet behind Nikita Kucherov. And Kucherov actually bobbled the first one. Martin Jones had to go off his left pad and then right back out onto the stick of Kucherov, who flips it in.
He couldn't reach over the pad to get the glove on it, and the rebound was only a foot, but it was enough room for Kucherov to elevate it then and get it in to make it 2-0 Tampa Bay. Back to the point, Perbix with a shot. That deflects wide. Leafs back of their own goal, and Giordano and Camp will get it freed up, and now Connor Timmins pushes it ahead, and here's the Leafs bringing it in over the line with Connor Dewar. A pass in towards the net is going to be covered up by Matt Tompkins. Edmonton native, 29 years of age, played at Ohio State University, and he's played just 5 NHL games, getting the call tonight for Tampa, who lead 2-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Feel the energy, blast a wild bird, and the impact of SiriusXM Octane. Immerse yourself in a community of hard rock extremists. World premieres, live performances, and artist takeovers.
A giant thank you to the entire Octane community for keeping rock alive.
Turn up new hard rock. Turn up Octane. Channel 37 and on the SiriusXM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on SiriusXM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
First period is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
And then maybe talk about the watch for Austin Matthews to get number 70, the first player in NHL history to hit that mark. He's in the building. Phil Esposito doing color for radio with Dave Mishkin. And heard an interview with Espo where he said that he knew Matthews' first year. He said that kid could get 70 one day.
Well, we're hoping that happens, but right now the Leafs are just trying to
might need to hit
play
80.
a little bit better in their own end, specifically as it's around back of the Toronto goal and covered up now and brought out by Brody. Brody launches it high to center, but it is gobbled up there and quickly brought back in by the Lightning to the near side. Here's a chance for Yzerman with a shot. That was stopped by Jones. Centering pass to the left wing side, played back to the point by Paul. He gets it again on the left wing. Little stutter step, got a shot in, knocked away by Jones. It goes in on the end boards, and the puck comes back out in front, and Marner's able to intercept. Marner bringing it to center. He is also wearing an A in the absence of Morgan Riley, who is not. Here's Matthews in with a shot, and from the short side it was blocked. Matthews gets it in front again. Another shot deflects wide of the goal. Matthews into the slot again, a shot. Oh, and a good save made there. And a whistle goes. Is the net off? The referees are Jean Hebert and Kyle Raymond. Shander Alfonso and Johnny Murray are the linesmen. Not sure why the whistle went here, but Tompkin was...
Boy, you almost wonder. I mean, it would almost be impossible to tell because of the black jerseys.
The net
was
off.
off.
See the net's off. Yeah.
But the Matthews chance, Joe. I mean, Tompkins gets right up against the crossbar, But I don't think you'd be able to tell with the black jersey where you would find any of it. Well, it was Mitch Marner.
Marner tried
put
to
it back on.
put it back on, and it didn't work out.
There's a kid.
I'll fix it for you.
There's a kid that played road hockey.
Yes, sir. Played back out at center ice. Leafs work it back to the red line, and it's dumped in on the left wing boards. Got a shot there of Brian and Emma Matthews leaning on the edge of their seats with their son coming close a couple of times. Brought in over the line. Duclair tries to get a shot in. That was blocked. Around the boards, it'll come to the point. Radish dropping it there. Now to Kucherov to the left wing side, and a shot. That's blocked in front. Played back to the blue line, but given away. Kucherov with another shot, and that was off the mark wide as it was deflected by goaltender Jones. Again, another glowing giveaway by the Leafs in their own end, and now finally played to center ice and down into Tampa Bay territory by Matthew Nyes. Pass ahead at center, intercepted by the Maple Leafs, turned back into the Leaf zone. Giordano with a pass up the middle, brought on by Noah Gregor. Gregor sifts through, in on goal, and as he made the move, it slid off his stick and harmlessly into the corner. He slid into the goaltender then, and he and Matt Tompkins had a nose-to-nose discussion.
Well, a pretty good burst of speed, though, by Gregor, wasn't it? That's what we saw regularly at the start of the year.
Here's a chance now for Watson to try and center. That was blocked. The puck controlled by the Maple Leafs and played high on a bounce into neutral ice and back into the Leaf zone, and Calvin DeHaan has to go back to recover. No Victor Hedman tonight. Andrei Vasilevsky is not dressed. And the Lightning playing with 17 skaters and one less. As the pass comes through center, and it's cut off there by Brody. Brody's pass went off a body, but now Camp has it. A lead pass to center to try and find Connor Dewar. That is broken up, brought right back in again, and a pass by Kucherov was broken up, and the Maple Leafs are starting away, and there may be a penalty coming here. In across the line, it's down into the corner. Here's Camp pushing it in along the boards, trying to get to it. It goes around to the far side. Pass back to the blue line, touched now by the Lightning, and the power play will go to the Maple Leafs to start for the first time in the hockey game. 9:45 left to play, first period. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, we can expect more thunderstorms as the evening approaches, and then overnight... Oh, hold on. Yeah, can I get 2 number 6s with a side of curly fries? Hold the onions, please. Yeah.
Harold, are you in the drive-thru right now?
Jim, no one listens to this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, great.
Weather reports don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
You know that it's game on.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs going to the power play. Austin Matthews, regardless if he gets 70 tonight or not, is going to win the Rocket Richard Trophy for the third time in his career. Alex Ovechkin won it 9 times. The award, of course, is fairly new to the National Hockey League's
Yeah, Brett Hall and Gretzky.
Pressure chest.
Yeah, there would have been a few that have.
Here the Leafs winning the draw. Matthews got a shot away, and that was swallowed up by Tompkins. He's getting his chances.
Why? Let's go to power play goal against Andrei Vasilevsky. Very similar. Remember in Toronto, the 3 seconds off the face-off.
Face-off again in the zone. Tavares taking the draw to the left of the goaltender, and it is won by the Lightning. Played back of the net. Chernak lost it. The Leafs come away with it. Back to the point it goes. Fed into the corner. Now back it goes to Liljegren. Near side for Nylander. In front for Marner. Slipping it in front of the goal. Tavares trying to get a shot away. And it came loose. And now here's Liljegren trying to keep it in. Matthews will help him out and gets it back. Liljegren with a pass. It's blocked. The puck's still free. And it's going to be backhanded down the ice by Tampa Bay. Lightning are 5th in the league in penalty killing this season.
And have killed 15 of 17 times short in the last 6 games.
Brought out at center ice by Marner. Onto the left wing side for Matthews to Tavares. Tavares sends it over to an open right wing. Nylander got there and got a shot away. Big rebound in front of the net, but no one there to do any damage with it, and it is shot down the ice. Leafs go back for it. Here's Giordano. Dropping it back into his own zone. Brought on by Nick Robertson. Second unit over the boards. Bertuzzi into the corner. Gets it back to the point. Giordano walks to the middle of the ice on the blue line. Still with it. Got a shot away. That was kicked away by Tompkins. Puck on the near side for Robertson. Bouncing to the point. Kept in by Giordano. Raced after it to at least get it scrummed. And now the Leafs come away with it.
Oh,
but they're going to call it a glove pass.
Well, that went off a Tampa skate after it was knocked down, and it was Nick Paul that kind of kicked at it. And that was enough for the officials, though, to deem that it was a glove pass.
Nyes with a pretty good deflection of a Giordano point shot.
The one thing I continue to be amazed by with Austin Matthews, first unit doesn't get it done in the first minute, and he goes off. He doesn't stay out. How many goals do you think Alexander Ovechkin has scored in his career?
Second half of the power play?
Second half of a power play. And that's not criticism, but he regularly stays out for the full 2 minutes.
And that's a coaching decision as well, right? Brought on at center by Nyes. He'll hit the line. Robertson was knocked in offside, and if that's not an interference penalty, it should have been. He was blasted off his skates into the zone by Chernak. But the officials have sort of bade this game go on, and it really is not expected to be any kind of a physical contest.
One of those things where you have to be careful, too, because sometimes if you're playing not to get hurt, you end up being more vulnerable. You start to change your game a little bit.
Got a nice note from former Maple Leaf assistant coach Mike Kitchen saying hello. Here's a centering pass by Marner. Couldn't get it to him. It comes back to Brody. Penalty is over. Centering pass in front. Matthews was off to the side of the net but didn't get the stick on the puck. Bertuzzi around back of the net. Leafs first line out there as Matthews hovers around in front of the net. Now he goes around back of the goal. Centering pass. And that was whipped wide of the goal by Brody. Never mind 70. Here's a loose puck in front and it's going to be covered up by Tompkins. Never mind 70. Brody wants one.
Yeah, right now he's 69 behind Austin Matthews. Did this glance the crossbar? Absolutely. Over the left shoulder of Tompkins and off the crossbar. Then right after that, Austin Matthews, an opportunity and a redirection that didn't go.
5 shots. 5 attempts at goal thus far for Austin Matthews. 7:23 left to play here in period number 1. 2-0 Tampa Bay on goals from Nick Paul and Nikita Kucherov. Draw scrummed. Leafs aren't going to be able to keep it in. Kucherov goes rink wide. Knocked away there on the far side. And the Leafs come away with the puck with Reeves getting it back into his own zone. A pass ahead at center is knocked in over the line by Connor Dewar. Camp in around back of the net. gets some assistance from Reeves, and now Dewar tries to play it back into the corner for Camp. He's too well covered. Reeves pushes his man in against the corner boards. The scrum continues along the wall, and when it's dug free, it comes out in front of the net. Reeves will push it into the far corner, cycling it back behind the net for Camp. Camp comes out to Reeves in front, scores! Ryan Reeves accentuates secondary scoring, and the Leafs are on the board. It's 2-1.
And Reeves from the high slot on a one-timer. And we've raved about him, Joe, the second half of the season. And thanks to some traffic in front, Connor Dewar was in front providing the screen. But David Camp saucers one out to the high slot, and Ryan Reeves just one-times it. We're getting a view of Austin Matthews on the bench when that was scored. He was probably as happy for Reeves scoring that one as he was when he got to 60.
So Reeves gets his fourth of the season. David Camp will get an assist, but are we looking at something here?
Offside, I'm sure, would be the challenge. I didn't see anything else. Did you?
No. And it was a while ago that the puck came into the zone, and so nothing happening here. We'll play on McDuff. And the Leafs are on the board with Ryan Reeves' goal. And the puck down in the Toronto zone. Now Giordano playing it to the wing, and Stamkos gets it back to the point. Dumba with a shot that was blocked, cleared to the line. Dumba gets another chance, and a juicy rebound, then was knocked away, and here's Tavares bringing it to center. In on the right side, Nylander on the wing for Nyes, couldn't kick it up from skate to stick. It comes back up on the near wing, and it'll be launched to center ice now by Tampa Bay. Overskating the puck and allowing Kucherov in over the line was Timmins, and the Leafs dodge a bullet there as it is played back down into Tampa Bay territory. Going to give it away. I wouldn't suggest Kucherov is the great decision. Played in wide of the Leaf goal into the near corner. Paul plays it around to the far side. Pinching down to keep it in was Lilleberg. It goes around back of the Toronto goal. Cutting out with it now, Yzerman. Back to the point. Long shot. Rebound. Off the goal post. And the Leafs dodge a bullet.
Well, off the post, off Murray, and then out the other side.
Nick Robertson to the left wing side for Gregor. Gregor freezes in, got a shot away, blockered away, and it's gone back to the point. Kept in at the left wing side now for Brody. Into the slot, Gregor with a try, and it's deflecting going up into the screen and out of play. Camp and Dewar drawing the assist on the Toronto goal, and the Maple Leafs are on the board and have cut into the Tampa Bay lead. It's 2-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app. Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The Leafs Radio Network.
5 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the first period. Leafs on the board, trailing 2-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ryan Reeves with his 4th goal of the season.
I think for Austin Matthews as well, if he's going to get 70, would probably be a little different if you did it when in an 8-2 game.
Yes. Leafs out there with Matthews, Marner, and Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi has the puck in the corner in front of the backhand. Oh, off the shoulder of Tompkins by Matthews and into the screen. I suggest he's getting his chances.
I think he had, 5 shot attempts in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game, and here a fortunate bounce. Give Tompkins credit. Reads the backhand off the stick, and actually it went off a Tampa stick.
And he had to move that shoulder to make the save. Draw in the circle to the left in the Tampa Bay zone. Draw controlled by the Lightning. Chernik gets it around on the boards. It goes off a stick in front of the net. Bertuzzi couldn't get his stick on it. And the Lightning will get it out at center ice. Turnover again. Bertuzzi trying to work in over the line. Flips it in. Matthews hustling after it into the far corner. Pulls the brakes on. Gets away from one. Goes around back of the net. Tried to center for Marner. That didn't work. Back to the point. Brody set into the far corner for Marner. Marner looking for Matthews. And it was picked off there nicely by Nicholas Paul and played down into the Leaf zone. Played up on the wing and out at center. Matthews in across the line. Bertuzzi with it again. Had it taken away from him as it goes down into the corner and around to the far side. And the Lightning are going to be able to skate it out. And it'll be brought to center ice, and changes coming as DeHaan sends it into the zone. We were chiding what would happen if Matthews scores goal number 70 and there's a close play at the blue line. Do you think John Cooper would even think about challenging? And conversely, if Kucherov gets an assist with the Leafs. Pass now and a centering feed on the near side. Kucherov hit the side of the goal. He's already scored in the contest. Giordano gets it out at center and across the line it goes. Giordano into the rush, got a shot away, and he whipped it wide of the goal. And it's come all the way back to the Toronto blue line with 3.5 minutes to go in the first period. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Nylander trying to come through neutral ice, gets it in over the line. Stick handles to the near side and pulls up. Goes cross ice to the far side. Liljegren's shot explodes off the glass after being deflected. Tavares got it back to the point. Tries to knock it in a little further to Nylander, but now the Lightning get it out at center ice. Brought on by Tanner Jano. Jano with a cross ice pass. Too high there for Lilleberg to handle. Played back, and it's going to go up into the screen and out of play. And that'll bring a face-off in the Toronto end with 3:01 to play here in the period.
A lot of people thought that Ilya Samsonov would get this start. Martin Jones hasn't started in goal for the Leafs since February 22nd, game in Vegas that he won. He did come in relief for Ilya Samsonov in that win over the Edmonton Oilers, and not a great scenario. Leafs had blown a 5-1 lead. It was 5-4 with about 3.5 minutes to go, and Martin Jones had to come in and mop up. Matthews would score on the empty net to win it, or salt it away, make it 6-4.
Played high to center ice by Toronto. And the Lightning get it back to the Toronto blue line, and the Leafs will reorganize there. Here's Brody sending it back. Dropped off now for David Camp. Up on the wing for high-scoring winger Reeves into the slot area, and Camp couldn't get his stick on it. Near side now for Dewar. Dewar with Reeves in front of the net. Camp stumbled and couldn't get the puck off his skates. Pinching was Brody. Brody trying to get it back to the blue line. Sends it back into the corner. Camp comes around. Back of the net. Played it off the back of the goal a couple times, but couldn't get it out in front where Reeves was stationed. And now the Lightning have played it high to center ice. Reeves playing it back into neutral ice. Gets it handed back to him. He'll play it even deeper and then peel to the ice or peel to the bench for a change of players. Robertson plays it deep into Tampa Bay territory. A little too high, though. It ends up going into the screen with 1:59 left to play here in the first period, and the Lightning leading 2-1.
Leafs now out shooting Tampa 14-10. The Lightning got off to a quick start, 2-0 lead. Reeves has cut into that, but we say, and it's one thing to play and hope you get through it without injuries. That's goal number one. But you'd like to see a little bit of competitiveness from a Leaf standpoint to close this out. Right now, they're 0-2-1 coming into this game. 3 times this season, or twice before this season, they had 4-game winless streaks. And you can talk about the Leafs not wanting to go into the postseason on that. Right now, Tampa's 0-2-1 in their last 3. Boston scored 1 goal in their last 2. So a lot of teams might be looking and saying, it's not the way we want going in, but once you get set in the standings, it's pretty hard to find that motivation.
Yep. Played along the boards by Giordano in the Leaf zone. He'll get it handed back to him. Now banking it back of the net for Connor Timmins. He finds Pontus Holmberg ahead for Robertson. Robertson backhands it over the line. And the Lightning almost lost the puck there to Noah Gregor. And now Gregor does have it. Gregor working back towards the blue line to the point to Timmins, a shot. And that was deflected in front of Tompkins and went wide. Into the near corner along the boards. Pontus Holmberg gets it back to the point. Giordano winds and shoots, and that's deflected wide as well. Robertson, and a penalty coming here to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here's Giordano playing it off now, waiting for teammates to arrive on the scene, and it's Matthews this time. Pass in for Matthews, but it's going to be touched by the Lightning, and here's the power play coming. Second time the Leafs will enjoy the power play.
Tampa 21, under penalty, holding.
Point getting the penalty for holding. And it comes at 18:54, so the intermission will dissect this unless the Leafs can score in the next minute 6.
And if somebody scores, you may not see him the rest of the night either.
Face off to the right is scrummed, and it rolls right into Tompkins, and Matt Tompkins will cover up on it. Tompkins was 15-12-2 with Syracuse this year. Face off to his right, and everybody moving a little prematurely, and that'll cost Tavares with a face-off wave, and Matthews moves in. Matthews scrummed the draw, but it's grabbed off by the Lightning, and out and down the ice it goes. Liljegren will go back. And he starts out. Morgan Riley not in the lineup. Liljegren, the lone defenseman out there. Marner played it back. Liljegren had nowhere to go with it. Now gets it to Marner. Marner to the line and in. A pass broken up and poked out at center ice, and the Leafs can't get into the zone. Liljegren will stretch it out. Marner in behind him. The drop pass will go to Matthews this time. Matthews comes to center ice and in. Matthews on the left wing, slides it into the corner. Gets there, and the pass comes back to the point. Liljegren with a pass on the left wing to Tavares. Tavares centers it front. Matthews got a shot away. It was stopped by the blocker there of Tompkins. Here's Marner with it again. Looking down low, and the pass goes to Tavares. Tavares to Matthews. Matthews doesn't shoot it. Sends it back to Liljegren. Liljegren left wing side. Marner couldn't get to it. Tavares does. Centers in front of the net. Oh, and Matthews was there, but they couldn't get him the puck as the horn goes.
Well, like you said, the bad news was the power play dissected by the end of the period. The good news is you're going to be able to get the number one power play unit out to start period number 2.
Leafs had 15 shots on goal. 6 of them were Austin Matthews.
And his shooting percentage is what, about 1 in 5, maybe 1 in 6?
Yeah,
so he's getting close.
Yes, should be. At any rate, we will ship it off to Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert with our first period intermission as the Leafs trail in the game 2-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Taylor.
Listen now through May 6th.
Welcome to SiriusXM, Channel 13, Taylor's version.
And starting Friday.
It's finally here, my new album, The Tortured Poets Department.
Beginning to end, continuous playback throughout the weekend.
I hope you love it. On Channel 13, Taylor's version.
The Points with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point.
They're pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team, don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think
At 69, let's see. I've got a special emoji for number 70 as well as number 71. Should he get there? All right, hit that like button, guys. Hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you for being an insider. Thanks for being here. And let's get back to the action. Let's get the chat rolling. Go, Leafs, go. Time to stand up, boys. Finish strong.
Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, yeah, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this. They got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sports 959 and the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is game 82 and one period. Tampa leads 2-1 over the Maple Leafs. 2 more periods to play. A couple milestones left to be hit, including Austin Matthews scoring 70. And Kucherov didn't get an assist, did he?
No, I don't believe he did.
Goal,
got the goal. Yeah.
At that point, don't be shooting. Just be passing.
Hard to give it up on a breakaway as he did, but yeah, Austin Matthews is the one. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Austin Matthews is the one we have circled, though, in chase of 70 goals. Guess how many shots he has already in the game?
Oh, I just looked.
That's okay.
It's 4.
I got 7.
Yeah, I tried to low. Justin.
I totally been on that.
Yeah,
in 7 minutes of action, so averaging a shot per minute so far as Austin Matthews, which, if that pace is kept, that's got to set a record.
Well, he
got to set a record.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the last game that he had 10 was a couple games ago, and I even was like shocked to see 10 on the score sheet. But 7 after one period of play where you're not out every shift, but he's still getting a good clip here. And Sheldon Keefe, obviously, before the game, making this seem like it wasn't a big deal, but it just needs to happen. You need to get 70 goals, and then you need to go quietly into the weekend where we just got the announcement. The Maple Leafs will begin their playoff game 1 against the Florida Panthers at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. So a little later puck drop. Not the Florida Panthers, the Boston Bruins. Oof. Yeah. the Boston Bruins. So that'll be an 8 p.m. Start on Saturday night. So lots of fun to come. But focusing on the next 40 minutes is pretty much one goal.
Yeah, it is so far the ideal conditions, I would say, though, for Sheldon Keefe in pursuit of this. Like it is pretty shinny-like out there. When you can get 7 shots in a period, when there's not much defense being played on either side, I think that's probably what you want in this situation because, well, it's not last night where like one team was playing hard, at least in that second period and the third period in the Florida Panthers, and the other team's like clearly only trying to do one thing. And when those two things collided as they did, it kind of just led to a really strange game that I don't think was beneficial at all or productive at all for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the fact that they're kind of in a game that does, we talked about in the pregame, kind of feel a little fake, a fake game, that's probably the best for Matthews chasing this right now because, it doesn't matter. The results of this game don't matter. These teams are just trying to get through it. And if Kucherov gets through with 1 assist and Matthews gets through with 1 goal,
everyone will be happy.
I think both coaches will be very pleased.
I will say it was nice to see our guy who's 250-1 for the Conn Smythe odds, Ryan Reeves, get a goal tonight because this is going to be a question I'll throw to you. Is he in game 1 on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, the injuries definitely help him in that.
Well, let's say everybody's back because they should be back.
I still think he will be. Yeah. I think somehow, some way, Ryan Reeves has solidified himself as a regular on this team. And that says a lot based on how the season started. But the way things have shaken down here and cooled off, it just feels like Ryan Reeves has got himself a permanent spot on this roster, at least for the time being, or heading into the playoffs. Maybe it's a little different with Boston because, they're not Florida, right? Like they're not a bunch of bullies like Florida is. Yes, Boston can play that way. But I think Florida can do it more, and I think it's more a part of the Florida identity where they're not going to play a game that doesn't involve that stuff. I think Boston can get through a couple without it being flared up, at least at the extreme that it will be with Florida. So Reeves is going to have some value in both series, and he's going to play, I believe, against Boston. But I do think maybe more indispensable against Florida.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Brad Marchand floating around in the back of scrums and falling down. I think that Revo needs to make his presence known early on in this series. That isn't the way that it's going to be because I forget if it was the last time they played the Bruins, but it was very dramatic. It was a lot of flopping and that was when they had Brad Marchand mic'd up, and then they played some of that mic'd up stuff where he was just like,
Well, Jake McCabe cross-checked him in the face.
Yes.
Cross-checked 2 guys in the face like 2 minutes into the game.
That was a crazy game.
It was a little bit more initiated by the Maple Leafs that night. And again, I don't know exactly how it's going to look. But the Maple Leafs need to play their game.
Yeah.
Because Boston, in that game, seemed to really benefit from the Leafs.
But I think that's where Revo comes in well. Is like he plays his game, and that doesn't mean that anyone else has to be dragged into that muck.
Or he can answer for something that happens on the other side. If it's the Bruins initiating things, then Revo's there. But if the Leafs are initiating, then you're more reactive, and I don't think it works out as well. And maybe Reeves doesn't have quite as obvious of a utility or function in that way.
All right, we're still a couple days away from that game, but it is 2-1 from the Tampa Bay Lightnings over the Maple Leafs in Game 82. We'll take a quick break. We'll look around the NHL scoreboard on the other side, and we have some playoff time set for Day 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Mo's and Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Betway.net is back. And now it's time to take your shot. Scores! Face off against family and friends. And take aim at predicting this year's playoffs. Whether you're pulling for the Panthers, going big on the Blue Shirts, or seeing stars all the way, who do you think hoists the cup this year? Sign up today for a chance to win exclusive prizes at NHL.com/bracket.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, sorry, cash only. Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, we don't accept foot money here. That's
Thanks,
how he
Harold.
talks. But now
Weather
I'm starving,
reports
and I'm
don't
looking
matter
for
when
something
you
to
drive
eat.
a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
John Tavares set up by Willie. The Leafs win it in overtime.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Milestone Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 2-1 after 20 minutes to the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 82 of the regular season. There's not much hockey going on in the NHL today and tomorrow to wrap things up, but we'll take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yeah, it feels like the NHL could have just wrapped things up tonight. The Oilers do play tonight and tomorrow, so I guess that's impossible. But yeah, it's kind of a weird finish to the season here. But yeah, we are almost at the final whistle. The only other game going on right now is not a big one. It could have been a big one. It's not. 1-1 Penguins and Islanders, end of one. Of course, the Penguins were eliminated yesterday due to a string of results. And later on tonight, the Blues and Stars will square off in a big one. The last one.
Oh, this one's sad.
At Mullet Arena. The whiteout will be in full effect. The Oilers are in town. I love the Coyotes tonight hosting the Oilers. Got to win the final game in Arizona till, well, I guess they just hand Alex Morello another team.
They have to win that game. I've put money on it, but they just for vibes to wrap up that crazy chapter, they need to win at home tonight.
The Oilers are locked in. Like, I feel like
It's a perfect night for the Coyote fans.
Great night for the Dogs, the underdogs.
The Dogs, or out in the Desert Dogs.
Desert Dogs.
I did see that tickets for resale on for this final game at Mullet Arena were like hundreds of dollars, like even thousands of dollars.
Well, that's different. Hundreds of dollars or thousands? Like it's
was
expensive.
A range. Yes, there were some tickets for thousands and there were some for hundreds.
Okay.
When usually you could pay student $20 to go to Mullet Arena. So
last chance to make some money if you're holding on to a season ticket.
Oh, they're going to make a lot of money tonight at that arena because it's the end of an era. That's sad.
I'd love to be there. I think it'd be a fun night.
That would be an amazing game to be at. Connor McDavid already got 100 assists, so there's not much.
Yeah, and
else
there's
to play
sitting
for.
Nurse and Cece. Not much going on there for Edmonton. So yeah, it's a big night.
All right. Do you think we see some milestones this period?
Yeah, I think maybe
need
this
it.
is the period because then everyone's going to be gripping their sticks. It just feels like it's a night for that, where they're just going to allow for that. It's a little bit more permissible than it should be in an NHL game. Matthews 7 shots. Maybe another 7 this period, if not a goal.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And on the other side, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the second period next. There's only 40 minutes left of regular season hockey between the Leafs and the Lightning before the Leafs go on and play round one against the Boston Bruins, which will be Saturday night.
Don't
8
forget to
p.m.
hit
will be
that like button.
the game
Tonight,
one for
it's
them.
the
And I saw
Leafs
some
and
other
the
guys have to
Panthers
play
from Sunrise,
12:30.
Florida. Yeah. close.
Yeah, the Battle of Florida, right? Florida, Tampa Bay, Sunday, 12:30.
Austin get tonight.
I got a 12:30 p.m. Sunday game one.
Let's see. I've got a special emoji for number 70 as well.
I guess Florida played their way out of that spot. The prime time Saturday
spot.
Button,
Guys, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you for being an
all right,
insider.
Joe Mahone
Thanks
and Jim
for being
Ralph will
here,
call the
and
second
let's get
period
back
next.
to the action.
You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on the
chat
Sportsnet 590
rolling.
Stand and the
Go
Maple Leafs
Leafs,
Radio
go.
Network.
The future stars of fantasy football will be on display at the NFL Draft. With the first pick. And Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you get ready for your rookie drafts, dynasty leagues, and season-long drafts.
It's the best draft class we'll have seen in our lifetime. This is what we play for, off-season dynasty leaguers. It is just the most exciting time.
Join Alex Dunlap and Cody Carpentier for the Fantasy Sports Radio NFL Draft Preview Show right now on the Sirius XM app. Just search Fantasy Drafts.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, yeah, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this, they got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. Radio Network.
2-1 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Paul from Duclair and Dumba and Kucherov from Hagel and Stamkos built a 2-0 lead. Ryan Reeves with his fourth from Camp and Dewar. At 13-18, cut into the margin. And Austin Matthews had 7 shots on goal. They've adjusted.
Well, start with a power play. 54 seconds left in the Tampa penalty.
16-10, the Leafs outshoot the Lightning in the first period. And Tavares lost the face-off. It goes to Chernik, and he's going to rip it in on goal. And Martin Jones will leave it there, and now Liljegren starting out. He'll turn and drop it back. Brought on by Matthews through center ice. Drop for Marner, in across the line. Fed off onto the left wing side for Tavares. Swept back to the blue line. Liljegren to Nylander on the right wing side. Down low it goes to Marner, back of the net. Matthews in front of the goal. Shot, hit a glove. Oh, he had an empty net, and if it didn't hit the player Lilleberg, it's in the net, and there's a loose puck in front. Nylander couldn't poke it free. Tavares keeps it in. Down into the corner, back of the net for Nylander. Nylander runs into traffic. That puck comes free off the skate of Matthews, and it's going to be rifled out and down the ice.
I'll tell you, though, Nick Paul was following Austin Matthews around for the most part of that shift. He did not allow Matthews to be open, and yeah, I mean, Lilleberg is falling as Matthews has the empty net. And it goes off his skate and harmlessly wide. But a great pass by Mitch Marner to find Austin Matthews.
And some questions going on at the penalty box door.
Just 1 second left, maybe on the penalty. We're not.
It was 18:54. Maybe a little bit more time here.
It should be 56 seconds. Yeah. So a second left. Or maybe not. The breaking point is now come over, and teams are going to be even strength 5-on-5. By the way, you and I had the discussion before we went on the air about the Hart Trophy. There's not a bad choice.
No.
Whether it's Matthews, McDavid, McKinnon, or Nikita Kucherov.
Yep.
Thing with Kucherov is how many more points he has than Braden Point, the next highest from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Here's Lyubushkin in on the right side. A long shot, blockered away there by Tompkins. Played around back of the net, and it'll come to the near side. Dewar in there, getting it freed up. Camp gets it back to the point. Lyubushkin to his defense partner, and Brody sends it back into the corner, but out of the reach of Connor Dewar. Reeves almost intercepted it, and it's played out at center ice now, and the Lightning get to the Leaf zone. Dropping it off on the right wing side. A long shot is blockered away, and Reeves sends it to the far side, but it's right onto the stick of Radish. He'll send it wide of the Leaf goal, and now Reeves trying to chip it out, and does, to get it into neutral ice. Lightning 2 and the Leafs 1. Second period. From Tampa Bay, the Leafs will embark for Boston, and John Shannon reporting that the Leafs will play the Bruins Saturday night at 8 o'clock. The Islanders in Carolina to play on Saturday at 5 p.m. Then on Sunday, Tampa at Florida at 12:30, and then Washington at the New York Rangers at 3 o'clock. Wonder who is in charge of the start times, he said, wondering out loud. Played off the boards to the left wing side. Chipped into the corner by Timmins. Round back of the net. It goes a wraparound attempt. Stopped there on the short side by Tompkins off the stick of Gregor. Played out at center ice by the Maple Leafs. Dropped off for Timmins. He's across the line. Had it poked off his stick, though. And a race for it now, and a breakaway for Nicholas Paul. In on goal. Good blocking save made there by Jones. Centered in front of the net. And it's going to go all the way back into the Tampa Bay zone. Dumba playing it up on the wing. Brought into the Toronto zone now by Perbix. He gets it into the corner. Duclair plays it back to the point. To the near side it comes. Perbix got a shot into the slot area, but it was broken up, and the Leafs break out. Matthews on with Bertuzzi and Marner. Shot in over the line, and down the right wing boards goes Matthews. Barged in along the wall, trying to get it into the corner. Matthews is tied up. The puck comes free, and Bertuzzi unable to get to it. Marner in there as well as it goes to an empty corner. Benoit will send it back of the net. Centered in front, just out of the reach of Matthews, and it's poked out at center ice now by Tampa Bay. Liljegren launches it high into the left wing corner. Bertuzzi goes into the forecheck, but won't get there in time to do any damage. And Perbix will start out slowly to his own blue line and feed it off on the wing, and shot into the Toronto zone now. Jones out of the cage. Got it back for Benoit. Benoit up on the wing for Liljegren. Played to center ice off the stick of Nyes, but the Lightning come away with it again. Got it ahead, and here's Kucherov. In over the line on the right wing side, trying to get a shot in, and that was deflected wide. Kept in at the blue line by Littleberg. To the right wing side, looking back to the point it comes. Here's Hagel holding and getting it into the corner. Hagel got a pass back to the blue line. Littleberg is there. He had it knocked away, and Tavares trying to out-muscle him to get around him, but couldn't do so. Littleberg starts back. Got it ahead for Braden Point. Point in across the line with Hagel. Broken up by Liljegren of the Maple Leafs. And now David Camp is able to muscle his way out into neutral ice. Camp with speed to the line and in on the right side for Nylander. He stops on a dime and turns, still with it. Nylander working down the right wing with a shot. And that was blocked away nicely by Matt Tompkins. Brought back by the Lightning now. Watson in on the right side. Got away in front with a backhand. That is still in front of the goal. And it's taken to safety by Connor Dewar. And Dewar will start out. Dewar will flip it in. Down in along the boards, Reeves. He was knocked down on the play. Leafs pinch with Brody trying to keep the puck in. And the Lightning get it, at least get it in front. And a shot by Connor Dewar went off a skate and went wide of the net. 2-1 Tampa Bay here in the second period. And Tanner Jano will get to center ice with a pass ahead for Yzerman. He couldn't drive the net. Taken into the corner, and Lyubushkin will play it out and down the ice, and an icing call is coming here against the Maple Leafs.
Well, Leafs dodged another one here in the second period. Connor Timmins. There's only one defenseman that you could say if you're the last man back, go ahead and carry the puck all the way up. And he used to play in Boston. Connor Timmins does it, and it's poked off his stick, and everybody's going the wrong way. And Nick Paul comes in on the breakaway, and Martin Jones makes his best save of the night.
Connor Dewar playing in his 17th game as a Maple Leaf, a goal and 2 assists while here. Lightning with a shot from the blue line. That went just wide. Broken stick down on the ice, and the Leafs are going to get free of it. And Brody trying to chip it out, had it blocked. Now gets it to the near side for Lyubushkin, and Lyubushkin has it off a stick down into the zone. Pontus Holmberg hustles into the corner, taken down on the play, but couldn't one-hand it out in front of the net. And the Lightning will counter and bring it to center, and it is sent into the zone by Chernik. Giordano up along the boards. Chernik intercepts, got it back to the point, kept alive to the near side. Now for Lilleberg. Played around back of the Toronto goal. Played back to Lilleberg at the left point. Goes D to D on the right side. Keeping in there was Chernik, and a shot scores. Loose puck in front of the net. And Duclair in front of the goal has Jones at his mercy and launches it over top of him to restore the 2-goal Tampa Bay lead.
Really, 4 Lightning touched this puck in the space of about 2 seconds. Actually, you probably put all 5 touch the puck, and nobody covered. Not Nick Paul, who was in front with the redirection. Not Duclair, who put it into the empty net. And Tampa just takes advantage of the fact that the Leafs get caught standing still. Nobody covered, and Duclair puts the Lightning back up by 2. It's 3-1.
Is that new in Tampa Bay? The ole, 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 ole. Have they've stolen that from Montreal? I don't recall them using that before.
I'm not sure.
Celebrating goals in the goal.
Not sure it originated in Montreal either. It might have been
originated, but they used it forever. Here's another chance in front with a shot, and that was knocked away by Jones as the Lightning strike again. And now here's a 2-on-1 down low, but it is gobbled up here and sent to the near side, and a wrist shot by Perbix missed by 20 feet. Far Point gets it back to the blue line, kept alive, now into the slot for Point. Good blocking arm save made by Jones, and the Leafs, like they did in the second period, are standing around in Florida and here, and a penalty coming against Toronto. Extra man on the ice, and it is Kucherov. Near side for Stamkos. Stamkos to the point, over to Kucherov. Kucherov down low, unable to get it in front was Hagel. Kucherov again with it back to the blue line. Fed again over to Kucherov. Kucherov will hold the puck and look for a man and find Stamkos. And the one-timer hit the side of the goal. You know what they're trying to do? Make sure Kucherov has the puck. He got it again in front of the net. It's touched by the Maple Leafs. And the power play, which is the best in the league, will go to work here against the Maple Leafs. 70 of 244 opportunities, 28.7%. It is 3-1 in favor of the Lightning. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, we can expect more thunderstorms as the evening approaches, and then overnight... Oh, hold on. Yeah, can I get 2 number 6s with a side of curly fries? Hold the onions, please.
Harold, are you in the drive-thru right now?
Jim, No one listens to this. Oh, thank you. Yep, great.
Weather reports don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Think two-man-in-a-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think two-man-in-a-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, two-men-in-a-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Nyes, who scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs a man short with Marner going to the box for tripping. And the vaunted Tampa Bay power play that is orchestrated by Nikita Kucherov will come onto the ice. And the draw won by the Maple Leafs and backhanded by Connor Dewar out and down into Tampa Bay territory. A 3-1 Lightning lead as we approach midway through second period. Here's Kucherov. Coming through center on the left wing. Gets in over the line. Kucherov dropping it into the slot. Point didn't shoot it. It comes back to the blue line. Kept alive there by Radish. Near side Stamkos. Back to Radish to Kucherov. Back to Radish. Radish to Kucherov once more. Poked off his stick but not cleared. Here's Radish with it once more to the near side for Stamkos. Stamkos works into the slot. Winds and shoots. That one wired just off the nose of Simon Benoit, who got out of the way.
Boy, and he turned around and gave the glance to Stamkos. One of those, you know what I'd do? I'm Sheldon Keefe. I'd say, everybody take a man except Kucherov. Let him do whatever he wants, but he ain't getting an assist.
Wow, that whistled past Simon Benoit, didn't it?
Yeah, I am kidding. I mean, when you look at the elite company he would join, which would include Connor McDavid this season, but Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr. Imagine looking back in your career and seeing your name beside those guys that had 100 assists or more in a season.
Braden Point turns the puck over. Nyes is in over the line. Got a pass in, but it was well out of the reach of Holmberg. Holmberg taking it to the boards, trying to kill off some time by pinning it there, but the puck is poke free. And now here is Radish playing it ahead and brought to center ice by Point. And across the line, Point tried to work into the slot area. It goes to Kucherov, back to the blue line. Radish to Kucherov again, centering for Point. Knocked high in the air, knocked down by the Leafs, but unable to clear it was Noah Gregor as he couldn't get two hands on his stick in time to have any strength on it. Played to the far side for Kucherov. Kucherov turns it back to the blue line. Radish to the near side. And Stamkos got the shot away, but it went wide. 19 power play goals for the Unionville native as the Leafs intercept a pass and send it out and down the ice. 10 seconds left in the first Tampa power play for the night. Radish dropping it back and heading to the bench. Brought on by Hagel. Hagel across the line into the slot for Anthony Duclair. Duclair gets it back to the point. Penalty is over. Marner is back onto the ice. Round on the far side. Leafs trying to chip it up the boards but fail. And then a pass in front of the net as Giordano couldn't get to it. Now Giordano was able to bounce it and get it out at center ice. Marner hustling up after it but unable to get to it in time to have any chance of taking it away. And now Hagel in across the line with a shot blocked by Giordano. Brought back now by Marner. Marner to the line and in. Matthews driving the net on the left wing. Can't get a pass from Marner. Marner with a backhand in front of the goal. That didn't connect. Here's Bertuzzi trying to find it, and it is cleared high to center ice by the Lightning. 9:14 to go, second period. Leafs trail by a pair. Matthews in over the line, still shoots off the goal post. The crossbar sends it up into the screen. Oh, my.
Boy, he did have John Tavares with him, but you could see from Matthew's standpoint, trying to get it over with, as he rips it over the left shoulder of Tompkins. And John Tavares basically pulled up as if to say, it's all yours.
I'm sure he was yelling, shoot.
Yes.
So a break in the action. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Flow. From your first heartbreak to your glow up. From low-rise jeans to high-rise dreams. 2000s R&B hits. SiriusXM's The Flow. Now on Channel 48 and in the SiriusXM app. Included in all trials and popular plans.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team, don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The Leafs Radio Network.
69 goals for Austin Matthews and 21 goal posts.
How long have they been tracking that stat?
I don't know.
No, I'm curious because
I honestly don't know.
It wasn't until really the last 2 or 3 years that we started seeing the stat pop up.
Scrum by Tavares. Cleared into the corner. Nyes can't get to it. Falling down on the play then was Connor Timmins, and this allows Stamkos to try and drive the net with a one-hander, and it's knocked away there by Martin Jones. Timmins getting it back ahead for Tavares. Drop for Nylander. To the line and in for Timmins on the right side. Timmins into the corner. Had it knocked away. Tavares steals it back. Left wing side, and a wrist shot is knocked away by Tompkins. Played up on the boards, and the Lightning with 18 shots. The Leafs now with 22. Played on the backhand to the line by Nyes. Tavares to Nylander. Nylander with a shot. Pad save made by Tompkins. Chopped at. Unable to clear it there was Paul. And the Lightning have it under control back of their own goal. Played up on the wing then by Dumba. And Paul gets in across the line on the left wing with a weak shot that was well wide of the goal. Far side, Hagel left it for Paul. Back into the left wing side. A shot was deflected by the shoulder of Jones over top and wide of the net. Liljegren leads the rush for Toronto. Works up on the right wing into the line and in. Slides by a hit, but the puck wouldn't go with him. And along the boards now, Lilleberg gets it out, and Liljegren shoots it right back in again. God, they're not a defense tandem. Played into the corner now for Gregor, and he couldn't come up with it. And the Lightning get it back to the Toronto zone, only to have Pontus Holmberg flip it out. Noah Gregor trying to slide by. Both players go down with a hit there on the boards. It's really not been a physical game, and you did not expect it to be in any way as we get an icing call here against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you think they should shake hands before the game, right? Gentleman's agreement.
Yep.
But boy, the Leafs have had some gaffes. Connor Timmins lost the puck, gave up a breakaway to Nick Paul. Now he falls at the right point when the puck's coming to him, and Stamkos is able to take it coast to coast. It's actually Willie Nylander that bailed Timmins out on the back check.
Face off in the Tampa Bay zone.
Tampa's won 63% of the faceoffs.
And Matthews lost that one, and it's launched high to center ice into the Toronto zone. Grabbed off by Hagel. Hagel gets it into the corner. A pass back out in front, and it's intercepted. And now here are the Leafs trying to get it out at center ice for Matthews, but it was blocked. And now Bertuzzi skates after a loose puck to the far side. Got out-muscled by Eric Chernak, but against the boards, he kicks it back into the corner. Matthews can't get to it initially, does the second time. Round on the boards it comes. Timmins trying to keep it in and failed, and it comes back out at center ice. Leafs have to wait to tag up. Cleared back in again by the Leafs into the corner. Along the boards, it's Perbix getting it back to the net. Marner after it on the far side. It gets past Bertuzzi and to the line and out. And the Lightning now breaking on a 2-on-1 break. In over the line with a pass. Good back checking there by Timmins to take it away. Bertuzzi launches it up against the boards, but doesn't get it by the pinching defenseman. Kept alive there by Watson. Now poked back to the blue line, and losing his stick was Matthews. The puck to the near side, and the Lightning keeping it in. Right wing boards, it goes around back of the net. Good play by Giordano, and is there a penalty coming? And is it Matthews getting it? He lost his stick. That's a holding call.
I think it is Matthews that's going. Well, I had the stick not between the legs and let his stick go.
On purpose, yeah.
So I don't. Well.
So they're calling it holding, or at least that's what I heard them say. Which
I really hope they change the call, because he never touched him after he let the stick go.
No, Radish plays it off the boards into the corner, tripping maybe. Left wing side for Stamkos, centering pass that was deflected just wide, and the Leafs are going to get to it, but they don't get a good clear, and it doesn't leave the zone. Round back of the net now for Paul. Paul to Stamkos on the near wing. Got it freed up in along the boards for Point. Back to the point. It'll come over here to pass in front of the net by the Kucherov. He couldn't find it. Now Kucherov gets it again. Centered in front of the net. Point. Shot stopped right there. The rebound cleared. Again, the Leafs don't get it out. Ample time, ample opportunity. One man on the blue line. Don't get it by him. And a shot here deflects finally, and it's going to come all the way to center ice. That has to be the most frustrating thing. Time and space, one guy on the blue line, you've got 100 feet to get by, and it's the guy standing right there that ends up stopping it.
Yeah, right on his tape.
Now here's Lyubushkin in over the line with a shot that missed the net by 10 feet, and it explodes all the way to center. The Leafs playing it back, but now brought on by Kucherov. Dropping for Stamkos. He'll shoot it. And it's might have gone off the crossbar and up into the screen as Steven Stamkos trying to get the assist for Nikita Kucherov.
Right now, it'll be interesting to see the Lightning take Kucherov off the power play. Because essentially, other than the penalty that was dissected by the intermission, Austin Matthews stays out for about a minute, right? Minute 10.
That went off the crossbar, too, from Stamkos.
Yeah, right. Kucherov stays out. Yes, he does.
And he has it back to the blue line. Fed off on the right wing side. Stamkos getting it back to the point. Off to Kucherov. Back to the blue line again. The first unit out there. And another slap shot by Stamkos was blocked. And the Leafs are able to clear this time and get it down the ice with 25 seconds left in the power play. Brought on now by Dumba. He's going to drop it back. Paul hits the line, drops for Stamkos, rung around the boards. Kucherov got it back to the blue line. Leafs were able to turn the puck over here. They might get a odd man rush. Then Kucherov is taken down, and the Leafs do get an odd man rush. Nyes is in over the line, but Pontus Holmberg in. Stop made. Rebound controlled by Matt Tompkins. You knew that power play unit would be a little leg weary. They got their chance, but Pontus Holmberg went low for the far post, and Tompkins makes a pretty good save.
Fortunately for the Leafs, Holmberg being a left-handed shot doesn't get that extra 4 or 5 feet of space to try to go far side.
You're listening to Molten Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Long shot, deflects in front of the goal. They backhand it into the net.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Tampa Bay 3, the Maple Leafs 1. Duclair from Paul and Stamkos here in the second period. And neither Nikita Kucherov nor Austin Matthews have been able to hit their milestones. Leafs win the draw. And it is poked out at center ice, and Timmins gets it over on the right wing side. Tavares back in over the line, takes it to the boards on the far wall and has it knocked away and poked out at center by Yzerman, brought on by Chafee, and on the right side trying to drive in, and a poke check made by Jones, and he was able to cover it up, and we get some shoving with Connor Timmins in there, and then Matt Dumba. Wait a minute, this isn't in the script. And now Giordano's in the middle of it.
Boy, Dumba seemed to throw the first punch, didn't he? And if that's the case, you got to throw one back. Kind of an innocent-looking scrum, and now Dumba's at the bottom of the heap. Who's on top of him? That's Giordano. And the referee is pointing. We'll see if there are going to be one or two penalties on this play. There's another chance off the rush by the Lightning. Oh, and I think they were upset that Connor Timmins laid into Chafee. And that's when
Timmins with a pretty good hit on Chafee, I guess. And that was the...
I think the Leafs are going to be shorthanded here. Yep. So out of that, yeah, Timmins threw a pretty good cross check first. And looking at the replay, then Dumba came in and threw a punch. Timmins responds. Giordano was in there as well, and the Lightning are going to go to the power play.
16:28 time of the penalty here. Third consecutive power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well, the second period has not been good for penalties, has it? Last couple of games in Florida.
Draw one by the Leafs, and they're going to shoot it out and down the ice. And you're not going to see Matthews and probably very little of Mitch Marner penalty killing, because what you don't need is having someone wire one off an ankle here.
Although you did see them out late in the last penalty kill.
Played along the boards. Matthews is among the defensive leaders for blocked shots by forwards this year. Now centering pass comes to Stamkos. They've got to get it to Kucherov, who does. In front of the net for Point, who scores, and there it is. Point will get the goal. Kucherov gets the assist. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have a 4-1 lead.
You know exactly what they're going to do, but be the number one power play in the league. It's not easy to stop. You get Braden Point to that little bumper spot. You got Stamkos to the left side for the one-timer. Kucherov on the right side. He can one-time it, and he can bump it back into that little soft area in front. And that's what they do, with Nick Paul providing, well, originally a screen. But again, it's one of those plays you realize you're shorthanded. but there are 4 guys open.
Points, 46 goals. 15 of them have come on the power play. Stamkos has 19. Kucherov 13. And standing ovation here for Nikita Kucherov, who has joined some elite company, and you mentioned them.
Yeah, but 54 points ahead of Braden Point. 54 points ahead of the next highest scorer for the Lightning. When Taylor Hall won the Hart Trophy in 2017-18, he was 41 points. Better than Nico Hischier, who was the next highest scoring. So for Nikita Kucherov, I mean, and to have 2 players do it in 1 year is incredible.
Nylander brings it down into the Tampa Bay zone. A centering pass goes off on the wing into the goal crease area. Tavares jamming at it and poked it wide. Nylander into the far corner, working back towards the blue line. Tried to one-hand it there to Brody. That didn't work, and it comes to center. Now Liljegren waiting for teammates to get onside. A diagonal shoot it into the far corner. Chaffee trying to play it back of the net, and does. And DeHaan will play it high to center and down into the Leaf zone. The crowd still saluting. Nikita Kucherov as a high stick off Nylander's stick is going to go down into the Tampa Bay end. And then a lead pass brings a breakaway for Hagel, who scores. Willie Nylander, after a high stick making contact, just kind of nonchalanted it and didn't touch it, and then just was heading to the bench. And the Lightning spring a breakaway pass, and very quickly Hagel makes it 5-1. And this team is going to go into the series with the Boston Bruins riding a deep low.
I mean, I realize Nylander does this. But what are the Leaf defense doing? Liljegren and Benoit get caught, and again, you've got a Tampa player in behind them. I mean, they've got to realize, right, there's a guy skating right between us, in behind us, that's wide open, and Hagel just puts it over Martin Jones' left shoulder, and it's 5-1 Tampa. So since the Leafs took the 2-0 lead against the Panthers, they've been outscored 10-1 in 5 periods in Florida.
Played into the Toronto zone. Marner comes away with it, and it's launched out at center ice for Matthews. He couldn't get in behind Perbix, and the Lightning will get it out at center ice and brought in over the line by Tanner Jano. Jano has it taken away, and Marner banking it ahead. Matthews comes through center, in on the right side for Bertuzzi. Back into the corner for Matthews. He couldn't lift the stick of the defenseman, and out comes Duclair to center ice. Anthony Duclair in over the line on the right wing with a pass into the corner. Duclair trying to play it around back of the net. It's centered in front, intercepted there by Pontus Holmberg, and Holmberg carries to the red line and just plays it down into Tampa Bay territory. Second period the other night was a disaster, with the Leafs giving up 4 goals. They've given up 3 here in the second period in Tampa Bay. And they're chanting MVP. And well, they should, for Nikita Kucherov. Into the corner, Liljegren unable to come away with it. And the Maple Leaf defense unable to come up with the puck as it comes back to the point. Long shot, knocked away, smothered then by Jones. And it'll be a face-off in the Toronto end with 27.6 seconds left in the second period. Sheldon Keefe said that the chase for 70 was a distraction. And if this is part of the distraction, well, then it's got to get cleared up, and there's only a day or two to do it.
Well, and if you're going to ride that excuse into the playoffs, I think you got bigger problems. If somebody's scoring 70 goals is a distraction for how you defend, how you play in your own end, then you're going to have a very short spring. I mean, you talk about mental toughness and everything else. Would you not agree?
I couldn't agree with you more.
4-game losing streak because somebody wanted to score 70.
Played high to center ice on the right wing for David Camp. Camp down into the corner, overskated the puck, Lightning get it back out at center. Lyubushkin waiting for teammates to get onside. Camp gets in on the left wing, stops up, but runs into a traffic jam. Played by Dewar back to the point. Benoit with a shot that was blocked, and it's back out at center ice. And Yzerman trying to get in over the line, and a penalty coming here, I believe, to Benoit, who now is engaged with Chaffee.
Yzerman is in there
Yzerman is in there as well. And it looks like another Toronto penalty coming.
And you know what?
After a disastrous second period.
We talked about this last night. This is now 4 games in a row. The Leafs have given up 3 or more in a period. And it's, you know how tough it is during the postseason to be able to come back in games. And if you start, serving up a 3 or 4 spot to the opposition in a single period, it's going to be a tough April.
So a 5-1 Tampa Bay lead. We'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for our second period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
SiriusXM NFL Radio revs up live coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft in Detroit, starting April 25th.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select
Pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be a legend. I want to have a golden jacket.
Hear the 2024 NFL Draft.
Winning a Super Bowl. That's what matters.
On NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs trail 5-1 after 40 minutes to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the final game of the regular season. Only 20 minutes left between the Boston Bruins coming around and bringing our nightmares back. So enjoy the next 20 minutes, and hopefully we get one more milestone that is just waiting on the stick of Austin Matthews.
Yep, it's there. It's just sitting there. But I will say, like, the Lightning are doing the celebratory no-game way better than the Leafs, right? Like, it's just, that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of anything, of course. But the Lightning have this nothing game. They've got this carrot of Nikita Kucherov assists dangling in front of them. And yeah, they're getting power plays. Maybe they're working a little harder. Maybe they're earning those power plays. But Kucherov was seeing a lot of the puck. And he's got a lot of chance to whip it around and put guys in scoring chance. Finally, Braden Point did put one away. But again, doesn't matter. But the Lightning are handling this game, I think, better than the Leafs. And that's not just because they're winning it, but they're just handling the no-game where it's just like, yeah, we'll get out there. We're going to take care of business. No one's going to get injured. We're going to get through this. And if Austin Matthews scores, so be it. But we're just going to get through and get our work done. And so far, the work that's not important, the outstanding work, Tampa Bay's got it done. And so far, Matthews and the Maple Leafs have it.
Oh, it's an ugly game for the Leafs. 5-1. Of course, the scoreboard shows that it's an ugly one. But, man, just so many lackluster plays where you can still know that this game doesn't matter, but can you complete passes? Can you at least stand in the right position on a penalty kill? Like that play, I think it was for the 5th goal. And Willie, did you see this? Willie's down in the offensive zone, waving his stick around and just turns around and
half-hearted, just puck pressure.
Goes to skate off the ice, and there's a stretch pass from the hash marks over the blue line for a goal. I think it was to make it 5-1. And like you're 20 minutes away from playoff hockey. That's going to slap you right in the face because, yeah, I understand the intensity isn't there, but do you just expect that Saturday night against the Boston Bruins at TD Garden that you just turn it on? I think you got to play with a little bit of pride. Just play like clean hockey. Don't mail it in that it's like an embarrassing effort, that it's 5-1 and you're getting smoked by a team that also doesn't care. It looks like two different leagues out there. And Tampa was obviously trying to give Kucherov his cookies, and he got an assist, and that's exciting. That the arena stood and appreciated it. Like, that's a hell of a moment. And so Matthews is 20 minutes from having that exact moment. There's a lot of Leaf fans there too. Like, it's probably 40% Leaf fans, and they want to see that as well. And Matthews has been trying, and he had 7 shots in the first period. He didn't add too many more in the second, but man, just like, get this done, get your habits back to being mediocre, and get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's as though, like, okay, the Maple Leafs have an off and an on switch, right? And they're on the off right now. They've been on off for the last 3 games. And the Lightning, yeah, they got on and off, but they've got something in the middle, too.
They've got the dimmer.
They have
a dimmer.
They've dimmed right now.
They've dimmed it, and it's not pitch black, and it's not bright. But they're like, you can hang out in the dim.
They're dimming, and the dimming has utility. And the dimming is getting this job done tonight and winning them the game. And I think there is maybe importance in the dim, right? Some importance in the dim because you got to turn it around in 72 hours or so.
That's what bothers me the most.
You got to be at your best. And again, Boston just mailed 2 games in. But maybe they got a dim too. I don't know. Just with the Maple Leafs, I hate the way that they're trending into this playoff series.
Yes.
Because, on and off. You got the 2 switches. But how fast can you go from off to on? Will it be fast enough? This is just like an ugly game. It's been an ugly week. And if it doesn't yield that 70 goal, it's like, what was the point in all this?
What was the point of all this? I believe so much in the momentum that you end a regular season in. I know that this game doesn't matter, but like, do you want to skate off the ice tonight and be like, oh, that sucked. We're crap. We got beat by the Panthers. We got beat by the Lightning. Now we got to go to Boston, and you're not going home until after game 2. I just think you want to have a better taste in your mouth. And that could be Matthews scoring 70. It's that simple. He scores 70, that place will still go crazy. The team's all going to be fired up. It
changes the entire complexion of the night.
You could lose 5-2. I don't care.
It will be as though they won 5-2.
100%.
If Matthews gets the goal.
That needs to happen, because if not, you're right. What was this week for? You got embarrassed basically both times, and you played. Yesterday's first period was good. 20 minutes of good hockey. And the rest has been Brutal.
It would not be a stretch to say that nothing productive happened over the course of a week leading into a playoff series, which
That's
is
a terrible way to go
does
into
not
playoffs.
sound great in any way.
Yeah.
And again, we're probably making too much of this.
I don't know if we are. Like, it could 5-1 to once again a team that has nothing else to play for. It's different if you were playing a team like last night when it was Flyers and Washington that had to fight it out. This both mean like nobody should be playing for. They're actually, you know what? They're playing for the same thing. 2 individual milestones. One team's got it, one hasn't. So all I'm saying is it's 20 minutes. I think you could just skate into the dressing room at the end of this with a loss, but with a little bit of pride, and then you leave everything in the regular season. Matthews' score goes down to 0 goals, 0 points, everything as soon as tonight. It's all blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
So why not put a little bit of pride in for the guy that's given you everything this season? Try to help him get a goal, play some defense, stop a puck, and win.
Earn some power
do
plays so
something.
you have those chances
that's a
that
good
Nikita
point.
Kucherov got in spades in that second period.
He did get a
but
lot.
you're right. I mean, if Ryan Reeves' goal was actually Austin Matthews, it'd be smiles, everybody would be having fun.
We'd
This
be
game
pumped.
would be nothing. We'd be having fun in here.
rich.
But so far, this period in this game has offered nothing in the way of positivity for the Maple Leafs.
All righty. We'll take one last break here and give you the out-of-town scoreboard on the other side. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Betway.net is back. And now it's time to take your shot.
Scores!
Face off against family and friends. And take aim at predicting this year's playoffs. Whether you're pulling for the Panthers, going big on the Blue Shirts, or seeing stars all the way, who do you think hoists the cup this year?
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. You haven't subscribed yet, have you? Hit that subscribe button and come back here every single Leafs game and Toronto Blue Jays game. Toronto sports. Hit that bell. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go Leafs, go. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you to the 14,746 of you who have done that already, and all the rest of you who have done so before we've played this video tonight. So with that being said, we're approaching 15,000. Thank you, insiders. Thank you very, very much. What a community we are growing. Let's get back to the action. Go Leafs, go.
Hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, "Sorry, cash only." Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob and he says, "We don't accept foot money here." That's how he talks. But now I'm starving, and I'm
don't
looking
matter
for
when
something
you
to
drive
eat.
a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. After 40 minutes, the Leafs trail 5-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The final 20 minutes to play of this regular season, thank goodness, are just around the corner. Let's take One last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yep, hard to find much meaning in a 4-game slate tonight in the NHL. The only other game ongoing is the Penguins and Islanders, and their fate is already sealed. It's 3-3, though, end of second. Still to come tonight, the Stars, who are gunning for first place in the Western Conference, host the St. Louis Blues, while the final game at Mullet Arena, the Arizona Coyotes and 80 media members, apparently.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a hot spot in the desert tonight.
Yeah, the desert. Playing home to the Coyotes one more time, and the Oilers will be in town to participate in the final game there at Mullet Arena.
Well, speaking of participating, I hope the Leafs participate nice and efficiently in this next 20 minutes. No funny business, but get Matthews a goal. Get
no
off
shots in the second.
Safe.
Was some iron, but no shots. Going to have a shot if he's going to score.
That's usually what happens. I hope
It's imperative.
He's got one shot to make history. Does he do it?
And if he doesn't, where does that leave the Leafs?
Oh, I don't want to think about that. But it's going to happen, right? Like, oh, you're less confident.
Well, there's only 20. I've been saying yes, but now we're
okay. So how much?
5 of 6 periods.
What happens here? He starts, but like, is Sheldon Keefe putting him over the boards every second shift here?
I think because the game is so lax, he'll feel confident in doing so. Although Connor Timmins did mix it up there late in the period. I think it'll be fine. Matthews is going to get his chances. We'll see if he can.
Pedal to the metal if you're Austin Matthews, and if you're Sheldon Keefe, let him cook because the team needs it. This fan base needs it. We need it. We need something to talk about. All right, this is it. Jim, Ralph, and Joe Bowen have the call of the third period, next final period of the regular season. The Leafs trail 5-1 after 40 minutes. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hello, I'm James Corden, and I'm so thrilled for you to hear my show, This Life of Mine. Join me every week for incredible conversations and never-before-heard stories from the biggest stars in film, TV, fashion, music, sports, and more. Each week, we'll be talking about the people, the places, the possessions, music, and memories that have made them who they are today. This Life of Mine with me, James Corden. You can listen on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Stars, Channel 109, or listen on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on? Don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch? Kill them. You don't like it? Do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Mort Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs trail by a score of 5-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in game number 82 of the regular season. We do know that the opening game of the best of 7 with the Boston Bruins will be Saturday night at the Toronto Dominion Garden in Boston, an 8 o'clock start for that one. Not sure which station we will be on. That will be decided once all of the games are announced, which will be tomorrow after the final regular season games are completed. But we will have that action for you live from the TD Garden as it is flipped down into the Tampa Bay zone. The Leafs to the right and the Lightning to the left as it's brought out now by Radish. They're on the power play to start this period as it is snapped down into the Toronto zone. Benoit for hooking at the 20-minute mark is the penalty. Lightning back of the net. A centering pass comes back to the point. One-timer by Stamkos went wide of the goal. Kucherov getting it back along the boards and into the corner. They battle for it in there. Kucherov hovering around on the right wing side. He's picked up his 100th assist. Here's a centering pass, and Kucherov fanned on the shot, and the Leafs are able to get the puck and send it out and down the ice with 1:12 to go on the power play. Wouldn't think that the first unit would stay on too long for the Tampa Bay Lightning now that the work has been done, but Kucherov remains out there. A pass over on the left wing side. Point getting it off to Stamkos. I stand corrected. Back to the blue line, into the corner to Stamkos on the far side. Stamkos with a shot down into the corner. Grabbed off by Paul. Kucherov centers. It goes off to Stamkos, and a shot went wide. Kucherov again with it. Centered in front of the net. Tipped to the line, but not cleared. Kucherov again, back to into the corner. Pass in front for Stamkos. He fanned on that. It comes in front of an empty net, and it's fired off the boards, but not out. Kucherov on a one-timer on the far side. That was stopped by Martin Jones, and the Leafs clear. Quickly cleared back up for Kucherov. He's going to stay out there. Brought to the line and in now on the right wing by Point. It'll be played to the side, and the Leafs get it out and down the ice. And again, the number one unit for the Lightning stayed out for the entire power play. Penalty expires as Dumba gets to center ice. Played in over the line on the right wing side by Yzerman. Spun around as it goes back of the net. Liljegren playing it up ahead. Noah Gregor just gets rid of it to center ice, and the Leafs will change. Benoit to the bench as it comes in on the right side. Chaffee gets into the corner, dropping it back, has it come off a skate to him. It played down into the corner. Liljegren ties up his man. Puck in along the boards as they try to pry it free. Not overly enthusiastically, I might add. Still banged up against the wall. Finally, when it does come free, it's stolen back by the Leafs, and now Marner starts away with a pass to Matthews. Matthews unable to stick handle through the defense, but Marner has the puck in the center ice area. A behind the back pass doesn't work for Bertuzzi, and it's cleared down into the Toronto end, and a whistle.
That might have gone into the Leaf bench.
So a face-off coming in the center ice area.
Almost identical second periods, weren't they? Back-to-back nights.
Well, if there's a magical switch that's going to turn on the intensity level and everything else, obviously postseason does that, but the Leafs had better find that switch in a big-time hurry because they are rolling in the wrong direction coming into the postseason. And the Lightning get it in over the line, and a drop pass comes to the near side. Radish lost it, and Tavares is away at center ice. Tavares in over the line. He'll drop it back for Nylander into Tavares. A shot from an angle went well wide of the goal, and it's going to carry him all the way out at center ice. Benoit gets it to his defense partner, Connor Timmins. Back to Benoit. Benoit to Nylander. Nylander comes to center. Played it in on the left wing for Nyes. Nyes stops up. Nyes trying to play it down into the corner. Found Nylander, who didn't handle the puck cleanly. And now Stamkos is able to stick handle by him and play it off the boards to center. In across the line comes Stamkos. Stamkos on the right wing side, and a shot was stopped there by the Leaf goaltender, Martin Jones. Leafs standing around in their own end, really passive, and that's, you understand it's game 82 and it means nothing. But all of these bad habits have got to be cleaned up before Saturday night. Brought back in on the left wing by the Lightning. Taken out back of the net there by Benoit was Yzerman. The Leafs get it out at center ice, and it'll be chipped down into the zone, and Camp goes down into the corner, and Reeves couldn't help him out. Ryan Reeves, one of the goal scorers for the Maple Leafs, the goal scorer for the Maple Leafs. Played high and down into the Toronto zone. Jones out of the net.
That'd really be a stretch, but you can say, well, the secondary scoring, we've had the last two goals scored by Noah Gregor and Ryan Reeves.
Played in over the line. Gregor unable to get it deep. Camp sends it back to the point, and it is shot in deep by Liljegren. 5 minutes into the books shortly here for the third period, as Lyubushkin goes back to the puck and gets it ahead, but his pass was intercepted. Brought back in over the line now by Brandon Hagel. Hagel up against the boards. Kucherov trying to dig it free, and there's a penalty coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a tripping penalty. Looking at the official closest to the play did not make the call. The official at center ice does. And it was Hagel that, when swiping to the puck, took down Noah Gregor. So 14:49 to go here in the third period. And the Leafs have their first power play since late in the first period.
It comes at 5:11. And Matthews out on the ice. Bit of a huddle here for everyone. And the faceoff is going to come in the Tampa Bay zone to the right of goaltender Matt Tompkins. Tavares taking the draw. And he wins it, but it goes right past everyone, and the Lightning get an easy clear down into the Toronto zone. Liljegren goes back and starts up ice. He'll look to drop it back and does. Marner is the trailer and brings it to center. He drops it off for Matthews, who gains the zone for Nylander on the right wing. Around back of the net, it'll come to the near side to Tavares. Tavares into the corner. Nylander gets it back to the point. Liljegren returns it to Nylander into the slot area for Marner. He was looking for Matthews on the wing, but was knocked off his stick and shot down the ice. Liljegren starts back up ice. Minute 16 in the power play. Marner to Matthews. Matthews hits the line with a pass for Tavares. Tavares dropping it back for Marner. Marner works back into the slot. Passes off on the right wing side for Matthews. Back it goes to Marner. Marner, a pass in front of the net, deflects into the corner. Nylander can't get it. Matthews does. Matthews back along the boards for Marner. Marner holds. Marner looking back behind the net, finds Nylander. Back to Matthews. It comes in front with a shot off the shoulder of Tompkins. Puck along the boards. Scoring a goal is a lot tougher than getting an assist, and so far Matthews, who has rung it off the crossbar, has had a lot of chances but has not been able to score. Round on the boards, far side. Chopped at by the Lightning, and they'll get it out with 24 seconds left in the power play. Matthews going to the bench. He's had 8 shots on goal, 1 attempt blocked, and missed the net once. Robertson gets in over the line. His shot went off a leg and went wide. Puck is around back of the net. Coming out with it is Timmins. Shot is stopped by Tompkins, and he is able to cover up on it as Nyes got flattened at the side of the goal. And Tompkins has played pretty well tonight.
He's been outstanding for them. 26-27, although he has not faced the quality of opportunities that Martin Jones has at the other end, and that's pretty easily recognizable by the score.
So the face-off in the Tampa Bay zone. And Austin Matthews' parents living and dying on every shot attempt for their son. Along the boards into the corner. Camp ran into a bit of an elbow there that wasn't called. Now here's Dewar trying to get it freed up. Camp couldn't. Neither could Reeves. Reeves bumps into his man. The puck is back of the Tampa Bay goal. Camp back for Reeves, out of his reach. Lightning are able to break it out. Stamkos coming to center. Got it up on the right wing side. Fed in around the boards by Brandon Hagel. And the Leafs have it there as they get it up on the wing. A pass ahead. Camp had it in his skates, but couldn't get it to his stick to make a play. Timmins has to go hustling back after a loose puck and get it up on the wing. And now Giordano with a long stretch pass, trying to spring Robertson, but it never reached him. And the Lightning bring it right back into the zone. A drop pass in on the side of the net. Sprawling to block that was Camp. It comes back to the point, kept alive by Perbix. He goes into the corner, back to Perbix, and a shot. That deflects off the stick of Jones, and another shot hits the side of the goal. And as it's poked into the goal crease, it is finally smothered by the Leaf netminder. And a face-off is going to come in the Toronto zone with 11:37 to play in the regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with no second thought. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning, it's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something? For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio, Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Points with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
11:37 left to play in the third period in the regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are going to finish with 102 points, 46 victories, 24 of them on the road. I'm a little not very optimistic of a comeback. 5-1 deficit here with that much time left. So those statistics are probably going to be there as a shot off the side of the goal by Hagel goes into the corner. Leafs get it around back of the net. And Lyubushkin's pass at center springs Brody, who gets a return feed, but he couldn't come up with it. Now Noah Gregor with a shot from a sharp angle that had no way of getting in there as Tompkins was up against the goal post. Puck is back of the Tampa Bay goal, pinned up against the boards. And Doug Freenow and Kucherov has it in his own zone with a lead pass that is waved off. And waiting for it was Jones to play it away from the trapezoidal area, and then he completely missed it. But by doing so, he fooled everybody. Lyubushkin with it in his own zone. Leaf defenseman gets it ahead at center and in across the line. Bertuzzi looking for Matthews, and the backhand was chipped over top of the goal. Another good scoring chance. Marner with it. A glance over the shoulder back in front of the net to try to find Matthews. Here's Marner with it again at the blue line to Matthews in the slot. He doesn't shoot it. Now he does, and it was kicked away there by Tompkins. Kept alive on the boards, but pushed out at center ice, and the Lightning will get it in over the line. Drop pass, far side, and a shot knocked away and cleared into the corner by Benoit. A long lead pass finds Marner. Marner looking for Matthews, who was breaking, but the pass was behind him, and it goes to Bertuzzi. He tried to find Matthews, but it was intercepted. Connor Sherry around back of the net. Matthews knocked down on the play, got back up. The puck goes free to Nylander. Nylander working back towards the blue line. Fakes a pass, still with it. Drops it back, but didn't get it far enough to Giordano. And it is quickly brought the other way by the Lightning. And a wrist shot by Duclair went high and wide of the net. 9:34 left to play in the third period. Played up to the blue line. Long shot, deflects wide of the Leaf goal. There's been no scoring in the third, but the damage was done in the second. 3 unanswered goals after the Leafs had cut the margin to 2-1. Toronto trying to break out, and Duclair doing a good job taking away from Connor Timmins. And the pass intercepted then by Tavares. Tavares to Nylander, being chased from behind. A weak shot on goal, and Tompkins had no trouble steering that into the corner. Another scrum goes on in the near corner boards with Stamkos in there along with DeHaan, and they'll get the puck freed up for Darren Radish, and Radish will play it down into the Toronto end. Benoit chased after the puck as it comes back into the slot area for Yzerman. Shot scores off the wing. Tanner Jano has joined the scoring party. And it is 6-1 Tampa Bay.
This time Simon Benoit has the puck stripped off him in the corner to the left of Martin Jones. And then there's no coverage the rest of the way. And for Jones, this is probably one you would have liked. Different circumstances. I mean, this is below the face-off dot and to the left towards the boards, but it finds the short side over his shoulder. The other sort of side story to this, with the players that are out and being injured and the defensemen that are not in the lineup. Not a lot of guys are making a case for themselves that are sort of borderline as to being into the lineup for game one in back-to-back games.
Played into the Tampa Bay zone. Reeves gets it up on the wing. Dewar trying to pry it free, but it comes into the corner, and the Lightning will play it around back of the net with 8 minutes to go in the third period. Out at center ice, a nifty little play made by Jano. He works into the left wing corner, ran into Labushkin, and the Leafs lose the puck again. Now Brody trying to get to it on the near boards. And they are stripped of the puck again. This time it is Hagel. And finally, Tamp is able to come up with it and launched out at center ice, brought back into the Toronto zone. Leafs have to regroup it. Jake McCabe, Joel Edmondson, and Morgan Riley. 3 defensemen expected to play in game one, not playing tonight. Leafs get it in across the line. Noah Gregor tried to make a little move to get around one of the Lightning, but to no avail. And the Leafs are back into the center ice area as Robertson, trying to backhand it into the zone, has it go off a stick and up into the crowd and out of play. Jano from Yzerman and Chaffee at 11:27. And it is a 6-1 Tampa Bay lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph back with you as the Maple Leafs trail 6-1 after losing 5-2 in Florida and 5-4 in overtime to Detroit and 6-5 to the New Jersey Devils. So this is...
You're not going to win a lot of games in regular season.
Up that many goals.
5 or 6, and you can probably forget about it against Boston.
A long lead pass to center, brought in over the line. Dropped back into the slot. A shot by Giordano ends up going off a stick and into the crowd and out of play. 6:53 to go. Kucherov has gotten his 100th assist for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Austin Matthews still sitting on 69 goals for the season.
I think the big difference between Kucherov and Matthews versus McDavid McKinnon. McDavid McKinnon have that end-to-end, those highlight reel plays where Kucherov and Matthews, it's a split second that they can damage the opposition. I don't think there's a higher hockey IQ than Nikita Kucherov.
Played down into the corner in the Toronto zone. Sharp angle shot went well wide, and Karam's all the way down into Tampa Bay territory. Both Matthews and Kucherov need others, right, to augment them. McDavid and McKinnon can really do an awful lot of it on their own.
Yeah, and those are the highlights.
Yes.
Right? Those are the highlight films.
Now, a tripping penalty coming here to Tampa Bay as Camp was taken down. Leafs get it back to the point. Fed into the corner for Camp. Camp against the wall, trying to get it freed up. It comes back to the blue line. Matthews is in front of the net. The puck comes back into the slot. Here comes a shot. Scores! And Matthews isn't celebrating. It's going to be TJ Brodie, who gets not his 70th of the year, but his first of the season.
Well, I did have Ryan Reeves and TJ Brodie scoring tonight.
Really?
Yes.
You planning on retiring tomorrow?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, TJ Brodie, I think, knowing Matthews is in front, Reeves is in front as well. And both trying to look for the screen deflection at the same time, and this just simply threads the needle. Gets past Kelvin Nahan, was the Tampa Bay player. Part of you wanted to say, just give up the puck. You know, let the power play get out and do their work. But you can't just stop playing in the middle of it, and Leafs power play does not get another chance.
Now against the boards. Reeves gets it down into the zone. TJ Brodie, that is his 56th career goal. And first of the season. He's back to the point. A Giordano shot is swallowed up by Tompkins, who will stop play for a faceoff with 5:23 left to play here in the third period. 6-2. Lightning with the lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear every game of the NBA postseason on Sirius XM.
And another one goes for Kevin Durant.
From the excitement of the play-in tournament through the drama of the NBA Finals, NBA Radio's roster of experts brings you closer to the storylines that matter.
Nikola Jokic is the most unstoppable player in the league.
It's the NBA postseason, and your home for all the action is NBA Radio Channel 86 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Well, the Leafs are getting secondary scoring. David Camp and Connor Dewar have picked up their second assists of the game. Ryan Reeves and TJ Brody have made Jim Ralph, who parlayed that into a multi-million-dollar win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we did. All right.
Oh, thanks. Thank God I've had a lot of bad habits in my life.
Yeah,
but
that's
that
not one of them. Yeah, me neither. Here's a chance now for Marner across to Matthews. Couldn't center it. And the Lightning have the puck, and they're going to get it out at center ice, and it'll be Liljegren going back to retrieve it. Liljegren fakes a pass, then sends it up on the boards. Marner turns with it in his own zone, pushes it ahead. Tavares now to center, works in over the line with Matthews, who takes the drop pass. Matthews with a shot. Oh, and he had that top corner, but a good save made by Matt Tompkins. Down into the corner for Tavares. Back of the net, Matthews coming out in front. Can't get around the corner to get a backhand away. Now it is Marner up against the boards with Tavares. Tavares centers. Matthews backhand. That was blocked. He gets it again. Holds still with it. A shot. And it went off a body and trickled to the net. 4:30 left to play.
Last graphic I saw showed 10 shots on goal for Matthews in the game, 12 shot attempts. What are we at?
I got 10, still at 12 of that. I don't think these next two have been added up onto them. The last one will get to the net, but not with much on it as it was partially blocked. 3 of the Lightning players were in there down on a knee trying to help out goaltender Matt Tompkins. And the puck is around back of the net and played off the boards and out to the line and out at center ice. Lightning bring it in over the line with Hagel. Hagel gave the puck away. Leafs will play it back out at center and get it to the line, but not into the zone. And then a pass for Gregor was in behind him. And Kucherov sends it down into the Toronto end. Hagel will play it around the boards. That got past Benoit. Back in front of the net, intercepted there by Holmberg, who finds Robertson. Robertson backhanding in over the line, trying to get around the defenseman, but couldn't. The puck is played up on the wing, and Kucherov will play it out at center, and the fans chanting MVP again. Here's a chance now for Pontus Holmberg, who scores.
Had him.
You mean the Prophet still?
Simon Benoit gets a hat trick to tie this up.
You're retiring?
We're retiring. As this time is the Tampa Bay Lightning with a sloppy exit. Pass up the middle, goes off his skate and bounces right to Nick Robertson. Robertson gets it, throws it down to the right wing circle, and Holmberg just a little chip over the left shoulder of Matt Tompkins.
7th of the year for Holmberg.
The last time he scored when he had 2 goals against Edmonton at home on a Saturday night. So for Holmberg, that breaks a 12-game goalless drought.
Played down into the Tampa Bay zone. In goes Dewar after it, around back of the net. Camp after the puck, can't get to it. And it'll be played around back of the goal. You would think maybe 2 more shifts for Austin Matthews, if that. As it's played by the Lightning out at center ice, and a pass goes off of Dewar and is corralled now by Camp. Camp starts away at center. Reeves to the bench, played down into the corner. Can't see whether Matthews is on the ice as yet, as the Lightning get it out at center ice, and yes, he is. And across the line, they're going to call this offside, and a faceoff will come into the center ice area.
Be nice to get that power play back, right? That TJ Brody screwed up a little earlier. There was a delayed penalty being called against Tampa. Leafs have control of the puck. Matthews went to the front of the net, and instead, TJ Brody thought he'd launch one on his own.
I think I saw Sheldon Keefe waving at goaltender Martin Jones. So we'll wait and see. As Tavares gets across the line to Matthews, flipped into the left wing corner. Nylander goes after it. The puck comes free. The net is, in fact, empty as it's shot wide. And an icing call will come here against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, they're giving him a chance. They're giving him a chance.
But I don't know if it's necessarily for the goal or to say, and we saw last night in Florida, we're going to be in these situations during the playoffs.
Yep. No, this is a meaningless game, and you're right. Nothing on the line except trying to get somebody a shot here to a long lead pass goes astray, and another icing against Tampa Bay.
Be nice to win a face-off, too. Leafs have won less than 45% of the draws in this game.
Tavares will have to take this one. The Leafs can designate which circle they want. And the fellows with the Matthews spelled out jerseys who were in Florida last night have made the trip across Alligator Alley. Liljegren back to the point. It goes on the far side for Matthews. Into the slot. Back for Matthews. Now to Tavares. Tavares trying to come out in front. Jams it just wide of the goal. Cleared around the boards to the near side, but it'll escape as Liljegren couldn't get over. Now Liljegren turning back. Works with a drop pass to Nylander. Nylander with Matthews swinging on the left wing. Nylander comes to center, just flips it in. It's blockered into the corner by Tompkins. Leafs get numbers in along the boards. Nylander got it freed up, and now here's Tavares with it. Tavares trying to center, back to the point. A shot for Marner in front of the net, and that was blocked, and it's going to be cleared out, but not far enough to go for icing, and Marner's got to scamper back because Kucherov is in full pursuit, and Kucherov is going to get to the loose puck, but the Leafs are going to get it around back of the net.
Well, and Kucherov will cheat. He'll leave early with an empty net.
Now brought out at center ice by Bertuzzi. He loses the puck. In across the line for Braden Point on the wing. Good block. The Leafs make a big save in front of their own goal. Brought back the other way now by Marner. Trying to flip it in for Matthews. Matthews well covered in the corners. It swung around the boards. It'll find Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi working back. Bertuzzi in front of the net. A shot that was stopped. Marner with it again. Marner looking in front of the goal. Still with it. Tried to center. That was blocked. Marner gets it again. Looking for Matthews. He goes to Nylander. Nylander with a shot in front of the goal. Matthews in front. Now can't get a stick on it. 59 seconds left to go in the third period. Marner across the line. Slaps it in around the boards. It'll be trapped on the far side by Jano. Lost Matthews. Got it again in front. Can't get a shot. When he does, it deflects wide of the goal. Leafs with it again on the right wing boards. A centering pass comes back into the slot. Over to Matthews. Score. No, it's Tavares who scores. I thought it was Matthews over in his favorite spot, but it's John Tavares who set it to the net. Matthews does not get his stick on it. The Leafs make it 6-4 with 34 seconds left.
And he was there seconds earlier. Matthews had gone to the post to the left of Tompkins. And John Tavares slid down to the face-off down on the right wing side. And I guess you give the Leafs some credit for, even though it was probably to score Matthews' big goal, but they have battled back to make the game look a little closer than it actually was.
Tavares' 29th goal of the season. Matthews is off the ice. He'll finish with 69 goals to win the Rocket Richard Trophy for the second time. No, check that, the third time. But he will not get goal number 70. And a drop pass in front of the net. Holmberg couldn't finish, and there is the horn to end the season. Molson 3 stars coming up. And who have you got, Mr. Ralph?
Well, I am going to make an audible. I had Matt Tompkins, who I thought had a solid game and goal for Tampa, but 4 goals against. I'm going to give him an honorable mention instead. The third star I will give to Brendan Hagel, who had a goal and an assist. Nick Paul is going to be star number 2. And Nick Paul with a goal and an assist as well. And even though Austin Matthews didn't get the milestone, Nikita Kucherov did. His 100th assist, also scored a goal for a 2-point night. So star number 1 goes to Nikita Kucherov, and we hope we get a chance to make a lot of Homer 3-star picks in the next week or two.
Nylander gets an assist on the Tavares goal. He'll finish with 98 points on the season. But Austin Matthews gets stuck at 69. And a lot of this, I mean, you could think about it. You had the streak going, and Max Domi gets hurt and doesn't play. That line was cooking. And
although, I mean, when you look at 10 shots on goal in a game,
he's
shots,
getting his chances.
Yeah, he was able to get the opportunities. And how many goal posts in the last 2 games? 3, 4?
Yeah, over 20 for the season.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, I mean, you saw the relief for Matthews when he got 60, when he scored it in Buffalo. There was that relief. And I think it was probably just trying to press a little too hard. I think too many players were aware of it, trying to get it done. Imagine going into overtime and saying, boy, only one guy can score. We got to get him the puck. And you could see teams were making adjustments defending against Austin Matthews, getting a better opportunity or more time and space.
Well, if he scores at the same rate he did in the regular season in the postseason, I think everyone will be overjoyed. And that is going to be the trick against a very tough defensive team in the Boston Bruins. But there is no question that over the last 4 or 5 games, a lot of things have got to be cleaned up and turned around before the Leafs have any kind of a chance in the postseason.
Well, when you look at the goals against where they were in the league, when you look at where the penalty kill was in the league, you're absolutely right. You start fresh, but if those numbers start to creep back to and be the norm in the postseason, well, I can't imagine it being for much more than 5 or 6 games.
All right. Well, we'll find out because they're starting up in Boston on Saturday night. An 8 o'clock start. Check your local listings to find out which station we are on. But the Maple Leafs in Game 1 against the Boston Bruins Saturday at 8 p.m. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming along with the post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this. They got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern.
On NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network. A 6-4 defeat by the Tampa Bay Lightning to end the Maple Leafs season on a 4-game losing streak going into the playoffs. Not a high note. Austin Matthews doesn't get 70 goals. He hits 11 shots in the Rocket Richard, but not the clean 70. So hopefully everyone can just flush it and get ready for a big game on Saturday night, because it wasn't the most inspiring of finishes to this season.
Yeah, flushing is suddenly required. Disappointing, at least for, I don't know, maybe until tomorrow. 69-goal season for Austin Matthews. It seemed like all the efforts, all the intensity, all the real purposeful nature of anything that we saw tonight was geared towards trying to get Matthews 70. It didn't happen. A couple nice goals.
Everybody else scored,
goal was pretty good at the end there. But it wasn't really what the Maple Leafs were looking for tonight. A little disappointing, but 69 goals. It'll age well.
It'll age well. It's still nice. One last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Once again, the only other game going on right now is the Islanders leading the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kyle Dewis's Pittsburgh Penguins 5-4 late in the third period as we speak. Still to come tonight. Stars host the Blues, and the Coyotes will bid farewell to Arizona against the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
I hope they win. I need a good feel-good story tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We've been relying on Arizona Coyotes for feel-good stories. Never, but maybe they can deliver it tonight.
Okay, the boys with Leafs Talk. JD Bunkus and Sam McKee are up next. That's our last regular season game. We'll be back for some playoff action between the Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The final regular season Leafs Talk. I'm JD Bunkus. He's Sam McKee. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you get the sucker. And if you're watching this right now, do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up. Send out the good vibes, okay? Because I got to tell you, all right, you want to do the show as like professionals who do professional talks? Like you want to couch today? Or you want to just let it rip?
Professional. I am no professional. I am not. There is not a professional amongst our ranks right now.
Okay. Can we just agree to all the listeners? Because listen, there's some, Johnny come latelys in the chat right now. Some people that have just never watched the show before, and there's people that see the Sportsnet logo and they're like, "Here comes two professionals to professionalize this." And I would like to say that we've done some professional-ish shows, okay? As close as we can get. We've tried to couch the things. And I know hey, listen, they're going to the playoffs and we got Borny and he'll professionalize things up and we'll be more rational for this. But let's just agree that even though this is going to live forever on YouTube and even though this is going to live forever in the podcast feeds, that nobody brings up anything that we say after tonight. Because I got a lot of stuff I want to say because I'm nonplussed, brother. I did not enjoy this evening. In fact, this was kind of for a team that, is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't like this one. This one was a stinky poo-poo.
I got to tell you, buddy, good thing they're down in Florida. They're close to Disneyland because that was a Mickey Mouse third period, bud. That was them putting Matthews out there, them all feeding him the whole time.
That's fine.
No, it was horrible. That third period, the last two games, the way it was handled has been the most Mickey Mouse, out of the flow of the game, horrible, playing like a peewee hockey team, awful, that I've watched the Leafs play all year. They were dreadful again tonight, the whole game. Meaningless game, I get it, all that. It was meaningless for Tampa too. They came out there and got it done for their superstar who gets his milestone in Matthews' eye. Mm-hmm. And you just got to watch the whole scenario tonight. There's so much bad about that, but it's just this 70 goal chase. I'm glad. I'm Keith now, bud. I'm glad it's over.
I'm
glad
it's
over.
more. This is not where I wanted to. I thought we were going to start.
I'm pissed off about
the airing
it.
of the grievances.
I had to listen to it for I don't know how long about how he's going to get this 70 goals, and we're catering our whole season, in which is one of our most important seasons, to him getting 70 goals. Every single thing that matters, every question, everything, it's all about the 70 goals. And they put a my beer league goalie in net, and they can't get 70 goals. He gets 15 shots tonight. He's playing. They pull the goalie. They're down 6-3 at the end of the game. The whole thing to me just rubbed me the wrong way the entire time. And I'm sick he didn't get it. I'm just sick. I'm sick about the whole scenario.
I'm completely the opposite in terms of my gripes. I feel as though they needed to get it and they should have gotten it. And like, if I'm going to start with my gripes, number one, John Tavares, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to
shoot it at his stick.
You're the
he was standing right there. Tip it, Matthews.
The captain of this hockey team. The captain of this hockey team. You wear the C, and you're on the power play, and the first thing you do is you drive the net with the puck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got one move, buddy. He's trying to take it to the net. Maybe Matthews cleans it up. Yeah.
Austin Matthews is chasing 70 goals, and John Tavares drives the net, trying to bury one for himself. You think he was going for a tip on that shot? That was ripped. That was him going, I want this in the back of the net. Yes, for old 91. I want this. Me. John Tavares, selfish.
Oh,
I hated it.
Our first cannot be held against us take tonight.
I said it. Our first cannot be held against us. I said it. Buddy, he scored that goal. I almost blacked out in anger. Like, I couldn't believe it. He drove the net earlier in this power play, trying to shovel one in early. TJ Brody, you're whatever. TJ Brody never scored a goal in his life. That's his first goal ever. He flung a puck towards the net. He didn't even know that was possible for TJ Brody, okay? Like, I felt miserable for him. John Tavares is a goal scorer. He's a stat chaser, and he went full into me goal scorer mode, and he ignored 34. And it's like, yeah, okay, man, you're the captain. Be a leader. Try to find the other guy. Try to make sure that 34 gets one. I don't mind them force feeding him the puck. 70 mattered, buddy. And this is my thing. Again, nothing counts past tonight, all right? This is full fan mode talk tonight. I hate the vibes going into the playoffs right now.
Awful.
Like, I hate them. They're deplorable. They tried to get 70. You just saw Kucherov get his. McDavid got his 100 apples. Everyone's talking about McKinnon for Hart. At least Pittsburgh missed the playoffs. Like, thank God Pittsburgh missed the playoffs. And we didn't have to deal with that whole, problem, that whole idea. But for Austin Matthews to sit on 69 for the final 2 games of the season, yes, 69 is historic. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm going to look back on the season as one of the most, I can't believe it, things that's ever happened. But yeah, just the fact that they chased it, the fact that they missed it, the fact that it felt ugly, that they just had 2 horrific hockey games where then he doesn't even get it. And, the Leafs kind of end up looking a little embarrassed and the team plays sloppy. And, oh, God, it just sucked. It sucked.
It was a sideshow, man. It was a total sideshow. It took them right out of the rhythm of getting ready for the playoffs and everything. Like, it just did. It took them right out of the rhythm. They weren't playing hockey games. They were playing get Matthews to score 70. That's what the whole point.
I don't care if they do that.
I do.
Get it. Just get it, though.
Be good going into the playoffs. Kill a penalty.
You wanted them forechecking and back-checking with meaningless hockey games. Like, no, that wasn't going to happen. Is it shitty? It was all-star games.
Tampa did it.
Didn't.
Yeah,
you think Tampa played a good hockey game tonight?
They went up 6-1 and they stopped playing. They didn't stink. They won. They were up 6-1.
No,
they were playing
doing
great.
The same
good
thing
players
on their power play.
Anyways,
every single guy was trying to make sure that Kucherov got his touch on the power play, and then Stamkos was ripping his shots. Everybody was ripping their shots, trying to make sure that the stat chaser got his stat.
It was in the rhythm of the game. He made a great pass to whoever put it in. Was it Point that scored the goal that he got it on? Yeah. It was in the rhythm of the game. I hated the way the season ended. I thought it was just a horrible way to end the season. They played like crap. They lost 4 in a row. They allowed 4 goals in 4 straight. Like, they were just really bad to end the year. And then you're going into the all-time vibes killer of playing Boston now, where it's like one of your historic rivals and the ghosts and all that. It's just, things could be better in Leafland, bud. And
totally.
I'm sick for Matthews because he really wanted it. The way I can tell that he really wanted it is because he's very close with his parents. And, you just could see how locked in they were at the end of that game, where it was just that he was just like Brian was sitting there like it was a playoff game. He was so locked in. So he obviously wanted it. But I just, you wish that puck trickles through Reimer's pads on Saturday night. You wish the one that he falls down to his knee, gets up and rips it by Tompkin, and it goes up and out. Here's the thing, man. 70 goals is hard. And he didn't get it. And it's just now, not only do you have the awful vibes of heading into the playoffs playing like crap, you don't even have the good vibes of him getting the 70. So
okay, so this is where I'm at with it. I don't care about the way they played the last couple of games because I just don't think it matters. Like the Bruins through their last 2 games, as you said, like trying to get the Leafs. Like I don't think any of that stuff game to game matters. Like I don't care about back checking and defensive principles. Like they were chasing a stat. Here's what I do care about though. This is a team that has been chokers. Like they've tightened up when the moment has mattered. And this is whatever. Like it's a milestone. But ultimately it's like Nylander got close to his milestone and then went the final 11 games of the season without scoring a goal. Like missed his. They needed Matthews to get to 70 and they fall just short despite 2 games of just funneling the puck and trying to get it for him, and it doesn't happen. And I just can't help but feel like these guys, it's always, he gets his 14 shots. It's not a playoff game, but it obviously just reminds me a little bit of, well, we got our opportunities and, we got our.
They didn't fall.
And it
got
didn't
good
fall
looks.
for us. And buddy, you know this. It just reminds me of Simpsons, old Gil,
old Gil really needed that one. Look at this chance.
Like that's the most old Gil. Look at how beautiful that play was.
Yeah.
He scores that 9 out of 10 times. And instead on this 10th time, he misses it by just, a fraction. And I like, again, nothing can be held against us. Nothing can be held against us. It's just, this is where you start to get spooked about things. This is where some of your fan trauma pops up because you're like, man, can't they just get one? Can't they just have that big moment of relief? And instead they got to go into the locker room. You're right. And they're just like, didn't get, hey, buddy, keep your head up. You didn't get 70. And now he's got to pretend like he doesn't care. And now they've got to roll into like, oh God, it's just horrible, man. Give me the heebie-jeebies.
It is remarkably funny though that Ryan Reeves and TJ Brody both scored in this game.
And Holmberg.
Holmberg. Holmberg is a hockey player. He's a goal. Like he can score goals. He's got some hands. Sure. Like, what does he have? 10 goals in the year? Like
yeah.
This is Brody's first goal in 107 goals. Okay, well, not as much of a sniper as maybe thought. Like, give him a little too much credit. But
Holmberg.
He's a little bit more of a goal scorer than Ryan Reeves and TJ Brody. TJ Brody's 111 games and he scores one tonight. Ryan Reeves fires one in low blocker on a one-timer. Like, the historic goal. He can't shoot one by not even Canada's starting goaltender from the Olympics with no NHLers.
Oh.
Like, it's just unbelievable.
How?
So I don't know. My phone has not stopped melting down from Nylander takes. And
yeah, I just muted.
I'm hoping that my people will remember that doesn't count. That doesn't count just like this. When he scores a big playoff goal, all the dorks getting into my message being like, see, he does care. See, he does care. But holy, that play.
Yeah, it was awful. Here's the thing for all these guys, though. They all have now the opportunity to just completely shelve all this stuff. And like, if you're Matthews, you're looking at this and going, hey, man, I finished with 69 goals. It's an incredible accomplishment, something that still hasn't been done in 30 years with the even strength scoring. Like, I passed Ovechkin this year. My team is right here against the Boston Bruins team where their best center is Pavel Zacha. I better just steamroll these guys. Like, if I score 5 goals against the Boston Bruins, people are going to remember that more than what I would have done when I would have actually scored 70 against Tompkins in Tampa Bay in game 82. Trying as desperately as I can to finish it, unless he would have scored that the toe drag, and then then it would have been like actually the most famous goal of maybe
of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say since Paul Henderson. It's that's the golden goal, Henderson, and that goal would have been the 3 most famous goals.
If that
in history.
goes bar down, that is shown on every highlight reel until the end of time. Like truly number 1 goal. It's ridiculous, that play. Oh
no, I know.
I'm actually sad. Can you stop playing it, Joe?
No, I know.
I'm Johnny fanboy tonight. I can't even watch that. It makes me sick.
When it happened, I wanted so badly to turn off my TV. Like, I just want to know who's here tonight, because all I wanted to do
haters
was that's true. The haters are out tonight. It's gotta be the haters or the people who are looking to transfer their anger at the Leafs to us. You know, like the people who are like, say something dumb so I can be mad at you instead of my stupid hockey team that always makes me pissed off. I just wanted so badly when he missed that one, when he hit that crossbar, I just wanted to turn off my TV and go to bed and then wake up in the morning and predictably read the headline of Matthews sits on 69 as the Leafs look forward to the Bruins matchup. Like, nightmare stuff.
Yeah, so it's just, I can't believe that puck didn't go in the net. But yeah,
you know what I'm saying about like the vibe of the like. It's choky stuff, like, you know, like it's the choky vibe. It's got the same thing. Yeah,
buddy, I'm well aware of the vibe. You could say that I have a doctorate in this vibe. In fact, I know it quite well. So we can talk about it more once we actually start into the playoffs here or whatever. But like, do you think they're gonna flip a switch? Like, you really do think that losing 4 in a row, that doesn't have an effect? Like, they're gonna go in. I know the Bruins went in a little cold too. But you think game 1 Saturday night that, it's the flip will be switched and we're back to them competing hard, obviously.
Yeah. So here's what I think. The compete level, I'm not worried about that whatsoever. These guys know the stakes. These guys have been there before. We saw it last year in the postseason against Tampa. Like, I think that they are going to show up. And that is not going to be an issue. Like, no one's going to be like, wow, that guy dogged it in the postseason like we just saw in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
And I don't think that those bad habits are now suddenly going to reset them and screw them up in any way. My major concerns are that they're banged up. Like, they've got a lot of guys where I'm going, wait, how much of this was actually preventative versus how much of this is like, what's up with Domi? Because, by the way, that's my other hot take is if Domi plays, Matthews gets it. And he goes 100%. To Marner, and Marner, gets some of the blame.
Is Domi a better passer than Marner? I think he is.
Embrace debate.
We cannot be held accountable, but I'm saying it. I think he's a better passer.
I can't be held accountable for it either. But yeah, do I feel like trauma when I'm watching Matthews and Marner play together and they're not succeeding in the moments I want them to, and wishing that the king of the vibes, Max Domi, was here? If I was Max Domi, I'd be like sitting out these games, thinking about what kind of luxury cars I want to buy on the Leafs time.
Like millions of dollars.
He's looking at the new liberal tax plan being like, okay, so how much money am I going to need to be uber rich? That's what Max Domi needs to be doing. He's talking with the financial advisor on exactly what he needs right now. Like, yeah, of course, TJ Brody, and if he preferred the assist over a goal, 100%. Like, who even asked him that question? Who had the guts to ask TJ Brody that in the dressing room?
Maybe. But I mean, TJ Brody speaking? This is a canon event. We need to cut to that.
Dude, I love that. TJ Brody never speaks. He scored a goal tonight, and he's got to like step to the podium as though he got caught in like a scandal. Like he's Tiger Woods. It's like he's got his prepared statement. I would 100% wish it would have been an assist. Poor TJ Brody. Like, the guy has been the whipping boy all season long, and then he scores a goal, and it's like, you idiot.
How could you? Remember my favorite take? TJ Brody hates hockey. He never plays on his right side, never gets to score a goal. And then the one time he gets to score a goal, TJ gets his taste. He finally gets his goal. And everyone's like, you're the worst. How could you score?
Loser. Yeah, the entire building is dead quiet, and Matthews won't even look you in the eyes because everybody knows his shit. Poor TJ Brody, man. You're right. He does hate hockey. He cannot wait to retire. He's just like, God, I need this to be over with. Anyway, yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried that they're banged up. I'm worried that their goaltending hasn't looked sharp. And I'm worried about, frankly, the power play. Because, Marner had the one that he threw off of Tavares' stick, and they've had a couple down the stretch, but That's the one area you would have liked to see reps and have them feel like they were going in with confidence. And so to me, it's like, that's the thing that 70 represented. It was like, hey man, you were going to get over the hump with something. Like, it was another mental checkbox of like, hey, you guys can actually do the thing rather than you don't do the thing. And the power play wasn't clicking. They're banged up and the goaltending hasn't been sharp. So those are like the Boston Bruins have them in a mental vice. But other than those things,
feeling great.
other than those 5 critical
massive things. Well,
I mean, pretty good.
Talk about the power play, and you talk about the circus. Every power play, the only thing they tried to do. They didn't work on the power play. They were just trying to feed it over to the right half boards to try to get it on a 34 stick. That's all the entire objective was of every power play. So
that's what I'm most critical.
That's probably
of
not great. That's probably not great working on that going into playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm most critical of when it comes to like the chase for 70. Like, I don't care that guys were feeding him the puck again. Like, other than Tavares, who was like, every time the puck was on his stick, he's like, "Whoa, I gotta get it. I gotta get it in the net. I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine, baby. I gotta score my goals." But
boys who love cookies love cookies, man. It's just he is who he is. He's narrow. He, is what he is.
He's the cookie monster. He wanted when he drove the net. Like, I texted, like my phone exploded. Anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna stop drilling Tavares. Right? It's just like, come on, man, please, for the love of God, please just try one time to think about not your goals. I'm not worried about the effort, the structure. I think they're gonna come out and if anything, like, we're going to do 2 days of previews on our pod, so maybe we'll keep this one shorter, but the way that I'm feeling right now. So subscribe to the JD Bunkus podcast. I got Myrtle tomorrow. I got Claude Julien coming up. I got a bunch of different stuff.
Julien's awesome. Have you talked to him before?
No, I've never had him on the pod.
Oh, you'll love him. He's super thoughtful guy. He's a really, really good interview. You'll love him. Watches. He's up to date. He's in
that's it. It's like that's what I want. That's what I want. And so there's going to be plenty of time for preview stuff, but I will say this, like, this is the most I can prove that I am still a true Leaf fan and I haven't lost the passion. Is like, I'm so pissed off right now. I'm so disappointed. I'm down in the dumps. And then yet deep down, I think that the Bruins suck and they're going to kick their teeth and the Leafs are going to win.
Haven't got there yet. Need a couple days.
Deep down,
listen,
I believe it.
I have a hard time believing that. I feel like deep down you believe it, but then deeper down, underneath that fake part of yourself where you're telling you believe it, lies the true feelings where you're like, they're not beating this team.
I'm telling you, I feel like they're better than this team. What I do believe is that I'm terrified of what we saw tonight, which is, the Leafs needing their stars to show up and score goals. Yeah. And then it's like crossbars and almosts and what ifs and maybes and Marner feeling like not in a groove and Nylander not feeling a groove and Matthews feeling snake bit and Tavares feeling a step slow. And that's why, to me, like, one of the big critical components of this that I really do believe is going to ease the psychological burden on the core 4 guys is can Bertuzzi and Domi and Nyes, and if McMahon can get healthy, like, can those secondary guys actually provide offense and actually dominate their shifts? Because if they do that, then I just think that it's going to make the core 4 guys go, oh wait, this is actually different. We're not pressing every single shift the way that they were pressing for these Matthews goals. And so, like, that's why I do feel it is going to be different, or why I think they have the advantage is I believe in the other guys and the effect that they might have on the core 4, rather than the core 4 needing to be the ones that, like, lead by example and then everybody else falls in line. And when things get tight, it's only them that can do it.
Positive note, thought the fourth line was pretty good tonight. Thought they actually had a little bit of jump tonight. Got a goal. They were throwing their weight around a little bit, playing in the offensive zone. Thought they had a little bit of jump. Yeah. My other positive, the Tampa Bay Lightning have to rebrand to just have those be their jerseys. Those jerseys are so much nicer than their normal ones, and they're not like looking like the Leafs, the weirdo Florida Leafs. That black with the shadowed letter on the back with like the blue and white. It's a beautiful jersey. The logo could use a little bit of a tweak to me, but to me, those jerseys should be their primary ones. I don't know what you do with the white one or what you do with the other one, but man, that jersey looks really good with the matte black helmets. It's a good look for them. I think they should probably consider rebranding to that full time. It's a good look. I know, but that doesn't look as good there. It looks way better on ice than it does in that weird photo of those 3 guys. But yeah.
Is there a player like I know I'm a little bit more of a Marchand defender. Like I respect his game more. Like I don't think there's a guy that I like sports hate more than Kucherov in the NHL. Like he just draws like he's killed the Leafs before. He's supremely talented. He's won a cup. He's getting more votes. Like I wish Matthews' team sucked more, I guess, because then Matthews would get more like heart votes. Like, you know, Kucherov gets it because the rest of his team isn't as good. Okay, fine. Yeah. I just, when he got that 100 assist, I was sour about it too. Sick. I was like, damn it. Didn't want him to get it at all.
He's the perfect heel because not only is he excellent at hockey, elite, like one of the best of this generation, no question, will go down as one of the, like a great player in the history of the game.
Most skilled after McDavid.
He's amazing. Like the way he fakes the shot and does the pass and fakes the pass and does the shot stuff it's just so hard to read. But he also has the total a-hole aspect of him where he's a dirtbag, loves to be greasy, hits guys from like, you see him hammer Gio straight from behind tonight? Like, no, it was a complete no-hitter, and he just buries him from behind right into the boards. He's just a animal. I can't stand him. He's greasy. See him walking into the building. I'm like, holy hell. Like he just, the shirt undone, like looks like he's wearing pajamas. I'm like, oh my God, this guy truly, all he cares about is owning the Leafs and playing great hockey. And he just goes and does it. So
is it him or Marchand for you, or is it someone else?
That's a good question. I think if I really had to, if you gun in my head, I had to choose between the two of them, I'd say Kucherov for sure.
Same.
I would.
The thing is though that this answer is
Kucherov's just way better. Kucherov's just way better, and you're just way more scared of him.
Yeah, exactly. He has the element of like you're just constantly living in fear of him, terrified that he's going to do something disgusting. And as big of like or as good of a player Marchand is, it's like it's different worlds in terms of skill and like where they're at in their careers, right? Like one guy led the league in points, the other guy did not, like even close.
You know who's sneaky high on my list of guys, and he plays the Lightning as well, is Nick Paul. Nick Paul.
I hate Nick Paul too.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him. The sight of his face makes me physically ill. I can't stand Nick Paul.
Sens to Lightning is a tough combo for me to like. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Especially since Sens fans were all like gleeful that when he went there and he was scoring big goals against the Leafs, they were like, this is basically us. I was like, no, you losers don't get
when
this.
Bruins fans had a parade for Ray Bourque when he won the cup with the Avs. That's very similar.
That's Sens, except for it's Nick Paul.
So before we go, because I don't have anything left on that of a hockey game. The last
I got it all out.
I feel better. I feel so much better now.
Me too.
I will say that in the playoffs, when this ends, whenever it ends, be it after the first round or after the final, whenever it's going to end, I just want to say that it'll be a lot more passionate then and maybe a little less clear-headed whenever it ends. But now, thank you for being there, everybody. Like, it's 82 games. We tried. I think we got most of it outside of Christmas and a couple here and there, but we did most of them, you and I, or at least one of us. Mm-hmm. And I truly love doing this. And I can't believe I get to do this. I love all the fans. I love everybody that comes and tells me they love the show. And it's really blows me away how much support the show gets. I love everybody that listens, and I appreciate it all. And I love doing it. So thank you. Thanks everybody who does other stuff behind the scenes. Jobo, Mike Jose, show. Who else am I forgetting? Please say my sis. Everybody, thank you. I love doing this. I can't wait to do the big ones starting this week.
Luke, Squadron.
Luke. I was going to say, how could you? Yeah. Sorry, Luke. Love you, bud. You know,
I was going to say you forgot Luke. Like our favorite guy, the sweetest.
I know. Luke is actually the number one guy.
Literally our number one guy.
Sorry, Joe. I will say you are my favorite, Luke. So does that help?
Yeah. Luke is obviously the favorite. He's the favorite son. That's why he gets neglected. It's just like he's there, he's all reliable.
I take it for granted.
Yeah, no, listen, everybody that works on the show, obviously we appreciate you. But yeah, the show continues. Like Leafs Talk is happening into the playoffs. Sure. So I'm not getting weepy about any of these things. And I am very, very, very grateful for it as well. But I'm especially grateful for the people that, leave the thumbs up and subscribe on the podcast.
Here we go.
And those people, like, I actually do care about, but it's like the grifters that just watch and the haters in the comments, like, you can shove. Like, I don't really care what you do. Like, thanks for watching, I guess. It's the true blues. It's the subscribers. It's the people that stop us. Yes, at Jay's games and stuff, and say, not to brag, but I am on TV every day, and I get stopped a lot, but it's mostly by people that watch Real Kipper and Born.
Like it solved a lot. Like I want every bar in Ontario from 5 to 6 with no sound. That is my role. I sit up there with my face and I get stopped. I'm like, oh, you're from Real Kipper and Born. But the ones that really feel good is when they say, oh, I love Leafs talk. And the team we were playing last night, Zigzags, whole team Leaf Talk listeners. They love Leafs Talk. We beat the absolute brakes off them. So enjoy that one, Canadians. I know that one felt good. We killed you.
That is good.
But they love Leafs Talk, and they stopped and they said thanks.
You guys should have focused and picked your fit. You guys should actually
crushed them.
Not being such little, star gluckers and so happy like watching Sammy. Anyway, all right, let's run. We're going to see you in the playoffs with Borny after every single game. We'll see you Saturday night.
Let's go.
Late. Playoffs. All right, time for
Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
If I remember, they took it to Boston early in that game, if I remember right. The Nuggets were just too dominant. So I think the thing with the West, if I'm just kind of making a broad generalization, is that we expect a lot of these series to be pretty good and think that a lot of these series can go either way because they're all good teams. And I think in the East, we think a lot of these series can be pretty good, but a lot of these series can go either way because nobody outside of Boston really stands out. Like, if you took the Bucks or the Pacers or the Knicks or the Magic or the Cavs and then put them against the Clippers or the Mavs or the Timberwolves or the Suns, a lot of those times the teams in the West would probably be favored. So the West is going to be, it's clearly the better conference right now. And they're going to have good both matchups are going to be good. The West, because you got some heavy hitters going against each other. The East, just because, I mean, God only knows. Any result, I think, outside of the Celtics, I think any result could happen in any series. And a sweep would be surprised in some cases. But also, if the Magic swept the Cavs, you'd be like, well, okay. But if the Cavs swept the Magic, you'd be like, yeah. But if that series wins 7, you'd be like, well, okay. And same with the Knicks and Sixers, and same with the Bucks and Pacers. So really, there's a lot of options on the table. It's going to be very interesting to find out how it all goes down.
Hey, Bart, quick question for you now, because you're bringing up the aspect of the Celtics and what's going to play out in the Eastern Conference. Remind me again, how many wins did they have this year? Do you know offhand?
I think they had 61.
So 64. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Now.
Oh, my God.
Now.
That's like historically good, pretty good.
Okay, that's a fair point. Now, Bart, I don't expect you to remember this, but you certainly remember the upset. Dallas, Golden State. Nobody whatsoever was picking Golden State. And that we believe 2007 playoff run.
Are we talking about the 1-8 seed?
Yes, we are.
The Baron Davis crew?
The Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson, Monte Ellis when he was good. Yes.
So, that was awesome.
Right. So with that being said, that was a team in the Dallas Mavericks that had made the NBA Finals the year before, that had won 67 games, that had the NBA MVP that year, and Dirk Nowitzki talk about an embarrassing press conference when he had to do it while getting beaten 6 by an 8 seed. Here's the point. Bart, when it comes to the NBA playoffs, especially with the caliber of teams in the 8 seed, in this, now we know it's going to be the Miami Heat, man, I am not saying the Celtics are even getting through round 1. That is nowhere near being a lock.
Well, if they play the Bulls, they will. I was going to say, if they play the Hawks, they will.
Yeah, you see the Hawks or the Bulls beating the Heat in a play-in with everything on the line in one game.
They don't want to play Miami. I mean, they just lost to Miami last year.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Exactly. So the point is, man, if you're the Celtics, there is nothing easy about this postseason for you, despite 64 wins. It is not going to be a cakewalk to the NBA Finals.
So I'm going to say a little a thing here that I hate when people say it, and if I have to say it, 2 things can be true. I hate that. I hate it so much. 2 things can be true. We last night were asked by Robert in Annapolis. He said, Give me a situation where it's not Boston and Denver. And for but that's probably very well could be that. But also, these playoffs, anything can happen. yes, the favorites are the favorites heavily because he was comparing it to hockey and there's more unpredictability there. The favorites are the favorites heavily. We are going to see, though, I think, some very interesting basketball, some competitive basketball. And I think what we're seeing these last couple of nights, is so good. I feel like these games have been very good and competitive. That's the biggest problem for the NBA right now. The biggest problem for the NBA right now isn't the All-Star game, isn't, people coming out too early, isn't trying to expand. It is that these games are so good. And I'll explain why that's a problem coming up. I'm Bart Winkler. You've heard David Shepard. We've got room for you. 855-212-4227. This is the Infinity Sports Network.
Clones, listen up. Not. Think 2 minute truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2minutetruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, sorry, cash only. Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, we don't accept foot money here. That's
Thanks,
how he
Harold.
talks. But now
weather
I'm
reports
starving,
don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Kevin Adams has that element of, well, we got to make a change. I'm not going to change myself. So, we make a change in the coaching staff. Now, you look at where the Buffalo Sabres are, and I know it's a bit of a late season surge, but 84 points, it's not like they're not 64 points. They're above 500. What's amazing, though, is you would think that the Buffalo Sabres, Gord, if I were just to ask you, where's Buffalo in goals against this year? What would you say off the top of your head? I would say 22nd.
Okay, I would. I'd say I was going to say about 20th.
So right now they're 11th. So you're right, and it took them 50 games to find UPL as the guy maybe to be going forward. It wasn't going to be Comrie, it wasn't going to be Devin Levi just yet, but UPL was a pretty good option. You sort of look at their underlying numbers, like their shot share is, they're middle of the pack, and their expected goal rates, they're sort of middle of the pack. They're just, they're not a great team, but I guess what I'm saying is I thought they were doing worse than they were. And maybe some of that is found money, fool's gold at the end of the season. I can have that conversation, but I guess they're better, sort of not just in the standings where they're not where they want to be, but they're sort of better systemically than I thought. Like they're more sustainable. They weren't at the bottom of the league. They're sort of middle of the pack, and that's kind of what they are as a team, middle of the pack. Now, that idea that they don't play the right way, to quote Henrik Lundqvist, and I think that is something that has plagued Buffalo, Ottawa, some of these young teams that have so much offensive talent, that have achieved great offensive success, but not great team success. I think trying to get the players out of that we play to go score mindset and more into we play to win. And I'm not suggesting for a second they're not trying to win. Of course they are, but just they've been catered to and encouraged to be offensive players. and maybe sometimes at the expense of the defensive side of the game or good puck decisions or whatever it might be, situational awareness, because they're always just chasing more offense. And I think that's what Henrik Lundqvist was talking about. You know, just recognizing score, time, place, opposition, opponent, who's on the ice, all that stuff. That's part of being a good team. And it's not just one player. It's sort of a team-wide mentality. And the Sabres at times, and they're not alone. You know, I put the Ottawa Senators in there as a team that also does the same thing. They don't always make the right decisions, or they make the wrong ones too often. And I think that's the one sort of indictment of the coach, I guess. If you want to say, like, what could Kevin Adams have expected